There is something I would like to tell you. I figured it out some time ago. I feel great, it makes me really happy, and I love you, so I'd love for you to know. Have you heard of LGBTQ plus? Well, I am a T. I have a heart and a brain that's of a woman's. Yes, I'm trans, and I'm proud to be me. And just in case you were wondering, yes, I'm pretty sure it's not a trend. And though this experience is different for everybody, I have experimented, and I really, really, really like being called a girl, so yeah. Thanks for listening, now you know more about me, something I have always been. I am a part of something really beautiful, because she, yes, she is me.
All right, one more. Is that you?
Who?
I just unmuted, so no.
No. Okay. One more.
No, she's trans people in the Bible. Yeah, does it say they're going to hell? No, Jesus actually lifts up genderqueer people as model disciples. Really? Yeah, Matthew 19:12. There are eunuchs who are born that way, some who are made eunuchs by others, and some who will become eunuchs for the sake of the kingdom of heaven. And eunuchs are castrated men? Short answer, yes. But being a eunuch is not the same as being trans. Trans can mean a lot of things, but here's how this passage affirms genderqueer, trans, gender nonconforming, and intersex people. Go on. First, it says some people are born eunuchs. Jesus affirms there can be more than just male or female at birth. Then Jesus says some will become eunuchs for the sake of the kingdom of heaven. In other words, some people who are assigned male at birth will later choose a different gender identification as part of their work of following God. Couldn't it be symbolic? I thought this was about priests being celibate. Priests didn't have to be celibate until the 1100s. Also, a lot of eunuchs could and did still have sexual relationships. They just couldn't procreate. Weren't they also outcast? Yes, while some eunuchs had high-power jobs in the royal courts, they also faced a lot of discrimination. So it's notable when a Christian Philip runs into an Ethiopian eunuch along the road, and the eunuch says, "What is there to prevent me from being baptized?" Philip doesn't say, "Well, you can't be a Christian because you don't fit the gender binary." Philip stops the chariot, goes down to the water, and baptizes them. So if people don't fit the binary, whether they're born that way or they even choose that later in life, they're cool with Jesus. They're not just cool with him, they're celebrated as models of discipleship.
Yay. So everybody can be happy and live happily together, and there's no reason to be mad or yell at people for being born the way they are. See, Jesus is cool with it. So we can all calm the fuck down. Hi, everybody.
Yeah.
All right. So, to all the Christians in the chat, I don't know, it sounds so weird saying happy Easter. I used to be one of those Christians that thought that only pagans celebrated Easter. So we would know the true Christians by those who celebrated by saying happy Resurrection Day, because it was truly a day of celebration. Yes.
I never interacted with that particular slice of Christianity, I guess.
No, yeah, Catholics, they were just like, Easter, it's fine. Eat your chocolate. You've been waiting a whole 40 days for it. But no, when I switched to Protestant, I was non-denominational. And yeah, they, it's fun doing the no true Christian. That's how you know you are a true Christian. And that's how facts work.
I loved it.
Yeah. So happy Easter, happy Resurrection Day, and happy Trans Day of Visibility, everyone. And okay, I'm sorry, gentlemen, do you have anything to say?
Happy Easter. I like chocolate.
Yeah. Happy Easter. I would be eating a dangerous amount of Reese's peanut butter cups if I was able to on this day. And the interesting thing is, if you do Lent, it's great because when you get to break it, then it's like an excuse to just go hog wild. The good thing about being like non-denominational or Protestant or whatever is that you're eating all the junk food steadily. Easter's just an excuse to double or triple down. So, and that was my jam. So, yeah.
Wait, were you what do you call it? Did I miss something?
They were the first church that I have memories of was kind of a Pentecostal church, lots of praying in tongues and wiggling around, and they didn't have a pastor. They had 12 disciples or 12 apostles, and it was a non-denominational, charismatic Christian.
All right, so yeah. I apologize. I didn't see a thing from Regios. I did in the thing see that people were gifted subs from Regios. So Regios, thank you so much. Subs. Sorry, I forget which chat platform I'm on. Regios, thank you so much for gifting 10 cultist.
There we go.
So we have 10 new tapioca weasels, and we love us a good Regios. Regios has his own emote. I need to get Robin an emote. Unfortunately, I need like an extra, like, I think even with Regios, I think we still need an extra like 90 cultist, just because they fall off every week now before I can get another emote. But I do want to give Robin one because she gives a lot of love. Or I may just rename my love emote Robin because Robin brings also, Mad Computer Scientist. I'm looking for your chat. I don't know what's going on with the thingy today. I might go back to Evie Mux. I really like the Evie Mux. Happy first zombie apocalypse anniversary. Hey, one and all. Thank you. $2 for Mad Computer Scientist.
You hooligan.
Uh-oh. Wait a minute. Spackle, happy Easter. Spackle insists on calling herself a Christian. No, but I more love, more non-atheist. I feel left out today. Jefferson almost disinvited me from the atheist equinox cult, or what do you call it? Equinox celebration. I'm like, I'm invited every year. You just have to. Do you have to be an atheist to be invited to the atheist celebrations? God,
I'm an atheist.
Well, there's a schism between the atheists that flirt with paganism and the atheists that refuse to. It's all woo. So it's going to come to a head soon. There'll be conflict.
Spackle, you've been to an atheist solstice celebration, surely. Anyways, the Holy Spackle for $5 gets sage advice. Like and subscribe, folks. Like I'm telling you, Spackle will never steer you wrong. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And I've been saying to Jeff all day because, like, I don't know, Jeff, you're my unofficial work husband. You don't have a say in this. So one of my videos, I'm pretty sure, got picked up by Fundies. I have 1,200 views on it right now, and I've been arguing. One of my favorite pastimes. It's truly an Easter miracle. I've been arguing with Fundies about abortion rights. In my not in the side chat. What's the comment section of my last video? It's called the Baby Scoop Era. If you guys want to help me out and argue with Fundies in my comment section, help me out. There's just so many of them. It's like 1,200 views. It's getting to be a little unmanageable, and I start a new job tomorrow, so I just don't have the time to like really dig in the way I'd like.
Oh, congratulations! Well, if I've got lots of free time tomorrow, I'll go into that video and mess around and see if any comments kind of like raise an eyebrow and be like, "All right, picking a fight."
I have no idea if people are going to show up to work tomorrow or not because I'm in academia, and it's the day after Easter is kind of one of those days where it's like most academics probably just straight up forget that it was Easter.
Yeah.
And you see, the thingies aren't.
You're not getting the memberships because you're behind 30 gifted cult members.
Yeah,
30.
no, like they're not. So I'm seeing them. So I always do the fan
not your
funding in
fault.
a separate window.
Yeah.
Just to make, because I felt so bad. I was missing people and I feel so bad about that. And I don't want to do that. But the what do you call it? The super chats are showing up and the super stickers are showing up. But for whatever reason, and like the what you call it, the chat window, I'm not seeing the gifted
memberships.
sub memberships, yeah. So like I'll see this, but not your hooligan's original one.
Your hooligan, well, so it does not come with a message. That might be one of the things.
Maybe.
If the way that the thing works is it's flagged by a message, it gives a little box that it highlights, but you don't get to send a message with gift memberships, which, trust me, I find annoying.
No, but shout out to you, hooligan, who gave us 20 fucking new cult members. Yay! Yeah. Everybody, get out of your chair. I want all of you out of your chair right now. There's 20 fucking cultists. Get out of your chair. Give you, hooligan, a round of applause. We love fam. We love fam over here.
See, I listen. I actually get out of my chair. You see what I'm doing?
Yeah, Jeff, you're sitting. Get out. A round of applause for you, hooligan. Reggio's.
Yeah, remember what he was talking about right before we went live?
Oh.
That has not kicked in yet, but fair point.
What else?
Assume that it has. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I'm not fucking getting up. I don't get any of this money. Oh, wait a minute. Here we go. Reggio's. Woo! All right. So this is another 10 cultists that Reggio's has gifted. So making 20, which I'm so excited for. We have another. So that's 40 right now. New cultist. I'm so excited about this.
You beautiful, beautiful weasels. We love all of you. We are a proud people.
Love all of you. Worship me.
I'm getting a little suspicious. Your numbers are growing too quickly.
I know. Yeah, I'm clearly.
Well,
yeah. The whole two people that subbed this past week, awfully sus.
I have weeks like that. Most of my weeks like that, it's one or two. They're kind of trickling in.
What else do we have? Ember somewhere around here, maybe.
Ember has it easy because whenever she gets memberships, she can just say that she gets Emberships.
Yeah. No, there are tapioca weasels over here. Ember ships are on that other channel. Ember is a different goddess. But she is resubbed, and we love those goddesses. This is how you know Ember's a goddess, because she does the thing.
Boom, boom.
Goddesses do everything perfectly. So do Owl Truckers, apparently. And I can't find this because they're not. I think I figured out what's going on. They don't think it's important to highlight when...
It's also the membership milestone chats because Al, I don't think Al sent a...
No, nothing. God damn it, Al.
Yeah, no,
but Al did remember? What was it called?
The way membership milestone chats, you get one every month, and the first few months you don't get to put any message in it, which I think is silly. Like they should give you 10 characters at least. Like, hey,
right, something. God.
But as you like, the more months you go, like now, like every month, I get like 250 characters to make a message on Dapper's channel because I've been a member for like a while. But I haven't been a member here for as long, and it's because I don't like you, Maya.
Yeah, it's not because this is the third month we've been doing this. I'm sure that couldn't possibly be it.
Dissension in the ranks. It's dissension in the ranks.
There's no ranks. I'm the goddess. He's just an acolyte.
The goddess. And
he's the head of the cult. Yeah.
I'm like her pet project. She's like, I wonder how much I can lead this, dude in circles before he just gets like dizzy and pukes on himself. I don't know.
No, that was you signed in blood. You signed in blood. There's no leaving. Not alive. Anyways.
Did you guys film that initiation? Because that would get views. Just saying.
Well, so we were talking about monetization earlier.
sure that's going to get flagged. Like, that's not safe for kids. Like, it sure isn't. Yeah.
What?
It
What?
was, it was Raspberry Jam. It was Raspberry
I'm
Jam.
not safe for kids. This is true.
Yeah.
Where were we? So Al has resubbed or resubbed. I don't know what it's called over here.
He
Has
membership
re-upped
milestone.
his
He
membership.
milestoned us.
Yes, for another member for 2 months. Yay! Thank you, Al. Also, Jester, Lord of Fools, also welcoming him in to the cult. And also Jester, there's something on here somewhere. God damn it. This. $2. Jester, Lord of Fools. Can I weasel in on this? Absolutely, sir. Thank you for being here. We love us a good Jester, Lord of Fools over here. It's really funny because I remember seeing Jester in a chat maybe like a month or two ago. And I was like, Jester, I remember seeing you in the chat. He's like, no way. You always stream when I'm at work. I've never been in your chat. And I was like, what the fuck? And then I've seen him in every chat since. I'm not complaining. I'm happy. I am ecstatic. And nobody fucks with Jester. Nobody gets through Jester or Regios, you hooligan, Spackle, mad computer scientist, or Ember, or Al Trucker, except through me.
Kip
What are you
Davis says,
doing?
no more weasels, only squirrels.
I will ban you, Kip.
He will not.
I
forbid it.
If I keep talking, she's going to remove me from the screen. Okay, this is what happens. This is how she works.
Oh, for fuck's sake! All right, Jeff, yay! Everybody, this is Jeff. Jeff is I've decreed that Jeff is my work husband. He has nothing to say about it. So Jeff, what I actually wanted was
liver?
shut the fuck up. God damn.
I mean, I thought, doesn't this come with being the head acolyte? I mean,
yeah, you get to shut up. Oh, is that wine? Oh, he learns so well.
I have been drinking on.
All right. Look, we're talking to Jeff now.
You cut him off before he said the key thing. I have been drinking all day.
Oh my God. Oz was here, was that last week or no, the week before. And he was like, I've been drinking since 12. And I'm like, you should have started from like, that should have been a 24-hour thing, sir. Because we did Muff House at university. And I don't advise that anybody be sober through that. Yeah, you want to get like a 12-hour lead in at least before we start rogering out. So Roger
you start drinking through some anxiety though, don't you? Like,
yeah, you don't stop.
Then I guess that staves it off. Then that's fine.
No, you don't stop. Anyways, wait, did I miss something? This is sponsored. When did we start getting red shit in here? I've never seen that before. It was like flashing at me and shit. I'm like, holy fuck. All right. But yeah, first time member.
Okay, Native Atheist says, I love tapioca when he was in Caddyshack.
A proud people.
He probably
very
is
proud.
Too young to understand what that means.
If I had to guess why that one might have showed up as sponsored and other ones don't, my guess would be it's possible that Jester Lord of Fools is a brand account. And then when brand accounts do a membership, maybe they show up as like sponsored. I don't know. Well, pulling that right out of the depths of my colon.
Jester is clearly super duper special. So
yeah. It's in
like red, flashy
Imperial Guard red kind of thing. Yeah, there's something.
Yeah, there we go. So this is we're at the end of March, which is Women's Month, and I wanted you to be the
minutes in.
God damn you! Sorry. Shut up. Anyways,
shows 15. But...
Holy fucking shit! Do I need to drop both of you? Listen to me. I'm talking. You know, that's not a bad idea. Let's just do this. All right. So what actually happened was I wanted to do like a whole month of women, but Ember, damn her, said that she couldn't come until next month. So we're finishing up Women's Month next month with a bunch of Christians freaking the fuck out about the apocalypse, which apparently is coming in the form of an eclipse with a devil comet. So make sure that you tune in next week for that, because that's going to be fun as shit. But this week, I am the guidess, and I have these two fuckers here with me today. We're going to be going over other shit. And to close out Women's Month, I, a Black woman, am going to be bossing around 2 white men because, feminism. And that's how that works.
It makes me feel now I don't feel bad for being a male guest on the last day of Women's Month. So,
You should.
Yeah,
You should feel really bad.
Yeah, but I mean, you put it in context. We're here to basically do whatever you say. So,
how do you think I feel being a male co-host?
Nobody cares.
That's true.
Jeff.
And acolyte. Yeah.
Jeff, absolutely nobody here has any idea who you are. You should tell them about yourself.
Oh, well, I've got a YouTube channel called, it's Jefferson Spatchcock. And I have Darth Dawkins derangement syndrome, so I talk about him way too much. And I cover some political commentary that I usually disagree with. So guys like Doug from Pine Creek, and I recently got into last week and this week, I just covered Revealed Apologetics, which is Eli Ayala. He's a precept apologist, and he kind of runs in the same circles as Doug Wilson and not Matt Powell, but who's the other guy? Frank Turek and Seitan Bruggencake, guys like that. So I'm trying to branch out with some other stuff. That's what my channel is.
Awesome. So Let's Farm is saying that Jefferson's awfully quiet on their end. Jefferson sounds great to me. If Jeff sounds quiet to anybody else. Oh, yeah. And usually we have this issue with Tapioca Weasel.
Yeah. Most of the time when there's an audio issue on this show, it's on
almost
me.
Always.
So
you should have been here last week when his camera was so bad it glitched mine out. That was fun.
That was so funny. That didn't make any sense. Okay.
What do we got for everyone this week?
We have just whiteness, just overwhelming whiteness.
We got to contemplate
my whole life.
Yeah, I mean, by the way, chat, did you notice that Maya and I are matching this week? I'm just saying.
Your boobs are not filling out that shirt, sir.
I mean, yeah, okay. I'll take that as a compliment. I don't really want boobs. We are talking about the channel After School, which is affiliated, I believe, with Gaia, right?
Mm.
In some way. I don't actually...
They're ripping a video off from Gaia, if
they're
nothing
certainly
else.
doing that. Yeah. And it's clear that they should probably go back to school because they don't know how to spell school. Just to give the absolute lowest tier joke that I could possibly give there.
They were trying to be cool.
Yeah, they're trying to be cool. But, that's spelled with a C at least. They have 3.13 million subscribers, chat. Million.
After School, actually, I mean, I don't know. They used to be okay, and I don't know what's going on lately.
They probably did the whole History Channel thing, and I think after we
it's more lucrative, though. We can attest it is more lucrative.
Oh, it's way more lucrative.
Yeah.
I mean, my alter ego, pretending to be this redhead dude called Austin Whitsitt, way more lucrative. That's what I'm saying. Anyway, so yeah, they got 3.13 million subscribers, and this video uploaded 4 years ago has an astonishing 9.8 million views. And
right, I mean,
they're doing good work. They're doing God's work,
right?
And God,
and it's educational, right? Educational.
It makes you have opinions of stuff.
I did do the homework. We'll go with that. I watched this video.
Did you? Oh, okay. I was like, did you like? There's a lot of homework if you're trying to debunk this stuff. I'm just going to drink and talk shit over here.
Yeah, I just wanted to get familiar with it. I mean, I was kind of sitting through this like, okay, that might be accurate about Tesla. I'm pretty sure like the other 9 things that they said are complete BS.
Yeah. Let's give it a shot.
The Egyptian pyramids are without a doubt the most mysterious structures on planet Earth.
Okay.
Are they though?
Are they though? You took the words right out of my mouth.
Sorry.
By the way, I want to amend my previous statement. 9 out of 10, dark mode would be preferred. But yeah. Are they the most mysterious structures on planet Earth? What the hell does that mean? I feel like I feel like the Leaning Tower of Pisa is more mysterious, because how do you get a 10-story building that's just leaning by like 10 degrees? It's probably like 5 degrees.
Sponge molds, you know, those sponge molds, you put them at one end of a maze, and then you put like oats or some kind of starch that they love at the other side, and they find the most efficient way through it just by sort of like feeling the, I mean, sponge mold activity, their behavior. That is really mysterious. They are strange.
Well,
I would rank them higher than the pyramids, but
absolutely. I just realized I need to have this maximized. Sorry.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, and I also need to do my stupid zoom out thing, because not that thing, this thing, because yeah, no, slime molds are nuts, but you're looking at the word structure in a much more sophisticated way than they are, because they'd be like, that's a mold, that's not a structure, and you're like, but it has relationships between the parts. But sorry, I'll stop talking.
But I mean, let's say that we limit it to like buildings that, or human buildings. I mean, I don't think the pyramids are the most mysterious. Haven't there been ones found in Central America and South America where they're just like,
I want to say, I'm not sure if this is a pyramid, I could be wrong, but like in the Amazon, like where they didn't think that people could live. I know there were cities. I thought like one was like a pyramid or a temple kind of thing. Like, it's kind of crazy, but
certainly Machu Picchu is really high in Peru. Machu Picchu, the main village is at an elevation of 8,000. I believe there are some structures that go up to 11,000. It's also 100% recommend. It is of every location I have been to on this planet, that is the most like awesome place that I have ever visited. The most awesome thing I've ever seen was a total solar eclipse. So if you're lucky enough to be able to do that next week, do it. But
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess it depends on what you mean by like structures. Like I don't know. Like I really. I mean, I don't know that it's mysterious. When I think mysterious, I think of like the underground cities. I think of like Göbekli Tepe is actually more mysterious than
Petra.
Oh, I love Petra. Yeah. And we're still trying to figure stuff out about those things. The pyramids, I mean, we've been working on it a lot, and they've actually discovered a lot just in the past like 10, 20 years.
They're also, if we're going to talk about them as structures, they're not very mysterious structures.
Well, and there's that.
If you have a block of stuff here, and you have a block of stuff here, and you have a block of stuff here, where can you put another block that it's not going to fall off? Okay, you can put it here. And where would you put another one so that it doesn't fall off? You put it here. and you go up, and now you're starting to run into a thing, and then you gotta do that, but that could get blown over, it could get hit by a giant bird, aliens could zap.
Oh my god. That reminds me of a meme that Titan sent. I don't know if I sent it to you.
You know what? There's 6 blocks in your pyramid. There's 6 blocks in your pyramid. That's divisible by 3.
Oh no.
Also,
it's clearly proof of God. We're aliens.
It's Satan's number.
Yeah. Or some kind of proof that black people did not do it. That is definitely what that is proof of.
Yeah.
We do not know when they were built, how they were.
I believe it is true that we don't have like an exact, like we don't know down to the year when they started construction, and it actually might even be true that there somebody in the chat, I'm sure there are multiple people who know way more about this than I do, but I think we know to within a few hundred years when they were built.
And I've heard
about
some of them are
3200 BC. Is general consensus, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's even, I think it's basically to like within a generation because we know who built them. Like
Yeah,
we
I
know
have another one that's saying
they are.
2780, which is really, that's from the Smithsonian though. It's really accurate or really specific.
Yeah, well,
It is.
I've heard that some of the pyramids are they're a little bit more sure about like a more specific date, and others they have to give a broader range because it's just harder to.
Well, because
Mhm.
in Egypt, I think there's like a ballpark of like 1,000 pyramids in Egypt.
I thought it was around 80. I can
There
double
might
check
be
that.
80 like awesome cool ones, and then the other hundreds of them might look like
Oh,
just mounds of dirt, but
sources cite at least 118 identified Egyptian pyramids. And that's
okay. Well, I was off by like a factor of 10. Still,
hey, I was wrong as well, and it's totally fine. That's from
80 and 118 are not.
That's from
You were not
Science
wrong.
Times.
You were correct. 80 and 118 are, by my standards, basically the same number when the alternative is 1,000.
I mean, it's a simple Google search I found, and the top result was from Science Times. Other things want me to read, and you know how much I love that. But,
Don't do that unless you're getting paid for it. Yeah. Yeah, that's my advice.
They were built, who built them, and
let me try and get more.
why they were built. The Great Pyramid weighs nearly 6 million tons and consists of 2.3
it's
million.
really heavy for everybody to lift. Yeah, the whole pyramid at one time. It's a good thing that it was made of blocks.
What does how much it weighed have to do with anything?
I thought that was the weirdest thing. Like, well, it weighs 6 million tons, so how did they do it? Like, well,
wait,
they
hold
obviously
up,
didn't
guys.
pick the whole thing up. Like,
You're totally missing the whole point. It's proof that aliens built it.
It's not though.
Sure. Yeah.
What? No.
How?
Everybody who believes in the alien conspiracy theory of how the pyramids were built are agreement on this.
Well, yeah, all flat earthers agree that the Earth is flat, though. I mean,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, I think it's
exactly
interesting.
The same thing.
They don't know who built it. I mean, isn't it generally just? I mean, isn't it safe
Egyptians?
To credit Egyptians, right? Like
Egyptians built it. Human beings, black people.
You might not know, like
it totally happened like that.
Yeah, it might be off by 100 or 200 years or so in your dating, but it's like it's still going to be people from that era, that area. Like, unless they're trying to say
goddamn black people and their monuments. I mean, we actually do have like tons of graves. We know we know what they ate. We know how they.
Yeah.
These are people with fingers crossed. They're hoping that Stargate's based on a true story, and just like, come on, like, nah, no.
Did this video have to do with Stargate? I can't remember. No, that was last week. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter how much. How much does the Empire State Building weigh?
Oh, I've never looked into it. Aliens didn't build that. White people did.
The pyramid weighs nearly 6 million tons and consists of 2.3 million stones that are cut and fit together with laser precision.
That is simply false.
Thank
you. It is simply false that most of the stones in the Great Pyramids, and to be clear, like this whole episode and everything, and most of what we've already said is about the 3 Great Pyramids at Giza that you see on screen, which is only 3, but it's the 3 really awesome ones. Anyway, they are not put together with laser precision. Okay, most of the rocks in there are kind of put in there haphazardly as filler, not the ones that you see, because those are on the outside, and those were arranged to have like some ceiling layer. The only remnants of that ceiling layer that we still have are this smooth part of the largest of the Great Pyramids. We have the sort of smooth area, and when they were first constructed, it is believed, I believe, that all of the all 3 of these pyramids were covered in layers of like smooth, softer kind of limestone that has come apart. And then you have these like the stair step like ones that are structurally sort of important and that you would build those on. But then underneath that, you've got like 50 feet of just like stuff that you got to fill up, and they just filled it with giant limestone blocks that were sort of kind of put together, but not with laser precision.
I have an answer on the Empire State Building too.
Ah.
The Empire State Building weighs approximately 365,000 tons. Quite a bit lighter.
Well, yeah, it would be quite a bit lighter. I would not be surprised if the Great Pyramid at Giza, I would not be surprised if it was the heaviest single localized like building or structure that was built by humans.
Yeah.
Because it's just giant. It's 98% limestone, right? Like,
yeah.
There's like 4 rooms in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody. I don't know how to do Discord but I don't know if you can see this.
I can, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's like, okay, so up here, this is the thing I was talking about, the Titan scent. When we stack rocks in a big triangle shape, they usually don't fall over. That's in Egypt. Over here, you have in Mexico. When we stack rocks in a big triangle shape, they usually don't fall over. Over here in Cambodia, when we build rocks in a big triangle shape, they usually don't fall over. And this is clearly Giorgio.
Yeah,
aliens. There's all aliens. It could not be a coincidence.
Yep.
Shit. So yeah. But I mean, no, yeah, and I didn't mean to like stop the conversation, but
no, you're absolutely. I mean, what you're just. This was my point.
Yeah. That when you said that, and I was like, oh, that reminds me of Titan's meme, and that was the meme that reminded me of. So yeah. I'm trying to compliment you, just ADHD,
100%.
because
100%.
ADHD is just like 5 hours late, and this is how we live our life.
Oh, it is. Oh man, ADHD tax. How terrible.
Many of these massive stones, which weigh as much as 80 tons, had to be transported from vast distances of more than 500 miles away. For thousands of years, it stood as the...
So it turns out that boats can really transport really, really, really large stones. And also, like, quarries tend not to be right next to the thing that you're building the quarried stone out of. Like, this is not weird.
It's not. It's really not. Actually, for ancient peoples, you would kind of expect it.
Indeed.
The tallest unnatural structure in the world. Certainly, there must have been a good reason tallest 100 miles away.
Sorry.
For thousands of years, it stood as the tallest unnatural structure in the world.
And that is... Nobody disagrees that is like fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Like the Great Pyramid or the Great Pyramids at Giza are the only entry that on every modern list of the wonders of the world, like that is the only one of the ancient list that is always on every single modern list because it's amazing.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Certainly, there must have been a good reason to go to all this trouble to construct such a wondrous monument, and we now know that it certainly was not a tomb.
What? We certainly know this?
They were tombs. That was a good enough reason for the people who built them thought that was an excellent reason to build them.
I mean, the ancient Egyptians were known for being ostentatious. I don't know why they wouldn't be.
And the guy who ordered it to be built did not have to personally haul the rocks.
And there's that.
It is, I will say though, it is a common misconception that the people who built the pyramids, the people who did haul the rocks, were like chattel slaves. That seems to be like not true. They were not like the highest on the thing. They were laborers, but they were not
normal laborers that we would have, doing something, building buildings today, right? I mean, that status, but again, we uncovered their the cities that the workers lived in, their graves. We know that they, had their wives and their children alongside them, it just the way they lived wasn't in line with the way slaves were treated at the time.
Yeah, the construction of the pyramids, as I understand it, is a lot more ethical than the construction of the White House.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
I will be right back. I gotta grab
Nikola Tesla,
Gotcha.
who is perhaps the greatest inventor of all time, had a
I mean, he's a good inventor. I'm not going to say he's not a good inventor. Yeah. The greatest inventor? Name 10 inventors and then rank them and explain why and how you ranked them.
Well, I mean, no, he's the greatest inventor because he's Nikola Tesla, duh. Like, you act like this is your first stream. Look, Nikola Tesla is like the greatest like visionary of all time. He's he saw everything and said everything, and they're just trying to suppress the truth.
Yeah.
He was one of those aliens from the Prometheus movie. So he already had like future knowledge. He came here to save us from ourselves. We just didn't know.
We just
But
wouldn't let
pigeons
him
drove him crazy. Yeah.
because capitalism.
And as you said, he was driven crazy. I will agree with that.
particular infatuation with the pyramids. He believed they served a higher purpose, and throughout his career he attempted to unravel their mystery.
Are we sure?
His idea...
I would not be surprised.
Okay.
Tesla was a little bit of a lunatic.
He was quite
Tesla.
No, I'm not not disputing any of that. But did he think that there was like magic pyramids splooge energy that would like?
Well, I don't know. He probably wouldn't have agreed with the word magic, but he may have agreed that there is an unknown energy or force or emanation that comes from these that.
Didn't he put together like a network of electricity that would like power?
No, people think he did.
Okay, did that not happen?
Like the free energy thing.
Yeah, the free energy thing.
Yeah, he never invented free energy because you can't thermodynamically.
No. Like I thought there was like, oh god, what was it?
Like wireless electricity and stuff like that.
Not wireless electricity, but like I don't even know how that would work.
They do give an explanation, and it's I don't think it's exactly what he had in mind, but he did believe that there would be a way to transmit electricity
or power,
or whatever, or power or something like that.
But that's true.
This whole thing, when I looked this up, it was like, okay, when he was building one of his things, he did build one of his experiments he built, and it was in Colorado Springs. It's built like a kind of a triangular shape. But there's no documented, as far as I know from like reading on him, there's nothing that documents that he was obsessed with the pyramids in Egypt. He might have been obsessed with like shapes, patterns, and stuff like that. But no, as far as I know, no one has ever like documented that he was particularly interested in pyramids in general, or the ones in Egypt specifically. So this is weird.
Yeah, no, I know that there was something. And again, I looked into this like a long time ago, like way before like I started. I actually didn't realize that Nikola Tesla was being used for like esoteric shit until like we started doing this show. But yeah, no, oh god, this is gonna drive me nuts. But it's kind of like what you're saying, like where there was something where was it Ford or whoever? I think I'm getting parts of this video like mixed in, where he was trying to get things done cheaper and to more people. Yeah. And because that would have cut the money from millionaires or whatever, that they were like, yeah, no. But again, I don't think it was wireless energy, because again, I don't know what that means.
I remember his fight with Edison, because he kind of like, he was a proponent of alternating current, and Edison was direct current. And I believe, didn't Edison electrocute an elephant with alternating current to demonstrate its danger to the public? Why Tesla was a reckless idiot.
It's not.
Goddamn.
Yes, but it wasn't quite. It wasn't Edison doing it because that story has the bad parts for Edison a little bit exaggerated. I don't remember how though. And
Okay.
I want to be absolutely clear. It's not okay to just electrocute animals in the middle of, well, really anywhere without good reason. But certainly not for a marketing stunt. But
Yeah.
Edison has a lot of flaws. Edison also, there's a reason that Edison was revered for so long. Despite so many flaws, Edison really did innovate a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Managing a group of people who work under you who then work on stuff does not mean that you don't deserve any credit and they deserve all the credit. Very often, this is how graduate school works. It is the advisor who has the ideas and like understands how to like put the stuff together, and then they're like, okay, we need to buy this instrument, and we need to make them all work together, and then they'll be able to do this cool science thing. You're the graduate student. We have the instruments. I'm going to help advise you on how to make them work together and to do the cool science thing. That doesn't mean that your advisor doesn't deserve credit. You'd be just walking around with like a chicken with your head cut off half the time. So, yeah.
Has been dismissed and forgotten over the last century. But considering that Tesla is directly responsible for 80% of the technology
What?
we use today, perhaps we should.
Did he say
80%?
80%.
What do you mean?
He like I when I heard about this, like he did have like a lot of kind of forward thinking ideas, and like he
Sure.
expanded on understanding of electromagnetism, but he didn't make this stuff. Yeah, like he didn't build this shit. It's like, okay, yeah, that's fine. You know, I mean, he contributed to it, but that's just like saying if he's 80% responsible for all this stuff, a bunch of other scientists are also 80% responsible for all this stuff too. This is so weird.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean that's a crazy claim.
Yeah, it's just conspiracists trying to turn Tesla into science's Moses. You know?
I said I said that.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
View his theories with a more open mind.
They have the laser on here. He did not invent the laser. The laser was invented in the 50s.
Do you like the Tesla car? Like he made that too.
He totally invented that.
It's just like, oh, that car that I came up with called the Edison. Yeah, Thomas Edison made that. True story. Coming soon in 2026, designed by Thomas Edison himself. I cloned Thomas Edison so he could design this fancy car. Thomas Edison has not stopped screaming since we reanimated him from the dead. Freaking out.
Please overpay for this car.
Brilliant showcase from the original Gaia series, Ancient Civilizations. We chose this episode because it opens the gate to new possibilities and new perspectives surrounding the pyramids. We ask you to suspend your disbelief.
Splooge energy, called it.
What's that?
Pyramidal splooge energy, called it.
Yep.
Splooge energy.
And take a journey down the rabbit hole through this insightful presentation.
Insightful.
The day science begins to study non-physical phenomena, it will make more progress in one decade than in all the previous centuries of existence. What does that mean?
I was going to ask you that. You're the scientist. What the hell are you here for? Except if not to explain the rantings of other scientists.
Yeah, but then I'd have to acknowledge Nikola. Okay, I will say Nikola Tesla was a scientist. He was just a really wacky one who was really esoteric. He did do science. The guy, if you were in a room with Tesla and you had to figure out how a thing worked, Tesla would be very helpful in figuring out how the thing worked.
Cool.
Probably. He would also then. He was weird. By the way, the only field of science that I think really studies non-physical phenomena would be mathematics. And insofar as that is a field of science, mathematics is like, I think, mostly its own thing.
I was going to say, isn't the jury out on that one, or are we just
I think it's an unimportant question. I think it's very clear that they're science and mathematics, like, no matter where you want to draw the line, they're both bringing a lot to the table, right? Like,
sure.
So, yeah. So I don't really, if you want to call mathematics a science, I don't really care. It's not a natural science. It does not.
I've never really thought about it. I mean, like, math is important in science, but so is the alphabet. I guess that's how it's always been in my brain.
The math is important in a sort of more fundamental way. Any intelligent group of beings that generates a theory of the physical world that can be used to generate predictions about it, given certain information, all of them are going to use math that is going to be very easy to connect a lot of dots immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't have to be that clever to, like, realize, okay, these are numbers and blah, 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 blah. The language that they use, the words of the alphabet that they use, would take a lot more effort. But they are both languages.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that math is a language that sort of emerges directly from the logical structures that it is concerning.
In 1905, physics genius Nikola Tesla submitted his U.S. patent 787412, which was titled The Art of Transmitting Electrical Energy Through the Natural Medium. It included designs for a series of worldwide generators. Tesla realized that the ionosphere was sparkling with electrical energy which could easily be tapped.
Easily. It could easily be tapped.
Yeah, easily. I'm sure that's exactly how we put it.
He may have put it that way.
Planet Earth, according to Tesla, was a gigantic electrical generator spinning around two magnetic poles from which limitless energy can be harnessed using the right medium or shape. His device was later referred to as Tesla's electromagnetic pyramid, based on his design looking like a triangle shape.
Triangle shape. It's a pyramid. Stacked.
This is a tent. This is a circus tent.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a scientist, but
I mean, I keep listening to this guy. I'm not going to be a scientist at the end of it.
You're not. You don't qualify. You're too skeptical. So you're one of those that would suppress geniuses like Tesla.
I mean,
hey, was it your grandfather or uncle like helped Trump build a time machine and something Nikola Tesla?
It was my grandfather who founded a company with Donald Trump's uncle, and that built and sold Van de Graaff generators, which are basically DC versions of a Tesla coil. And also, when Tesla died, Donald Trump's uncle, John G. Trump, my grandfather's like best friend, was the person that they chose to like go through all of Tesla's estate to like see if there was any like black magic or something that was important that they should know about. Partially because this was in like 1944, and they were kind of just throwing everything at the wall to see what would stick.
Yeah, they're like, well, you know what? If we got to resort to black magic against the Nazis, I mean, it's only a matter of time before Hitler gets warlocks himself. So
I'm just saying. So what I actually heard was around the time that Dr. Tapioca Weasels had just stopped owning my family as slaves, they went to old Nikola Tesla, slit his throat, stole all of his ideas, sold it for money so that they could make the Van de Graaff generator. And now he's living on, the backs of like our blood, sweat, and tears.
You forgot the other contribution of the family. They defeated the Nazis with good old American spellcraft, thanks to Tesla's magic.
Mwahaha.
Physics. It works, bitches. My granddad invented one of the first things that you could use to split the atom. I'm just saying. The first people who split the atom, they turned on their thing and they split the atom, and then they like published a thing, and then a bunch of people who had been working for the last 2 weeks to like put the finishing touches on turning on their new. No, I'm not done. But their new Van de Graaff generator. They turned it on and immediately did the same thing.
Now?
And they were like, if I had just done that a month ago, we would have been the first. Yes, no, I'm done.
Are you done now? Okay.
The wine is making you impatient, but it's also making
he keeps
tapioca weasel. Well, he's proud. He's proud
Tesla
of the contribution.
Yeah, and you brought it up. I didn't bring it up. You brought it up.
tapping into the actual shape of the pyramid, I believe, was something that just came roundabout through his investigation into the location of the pyramids. Because what appears to have happened is that he realized that it wasn't the actual shape of the pyramid so much, although pyramids exhibit fractal energy much more efficiently than other types of designs.
Pyramids exhibit fractal energy much more efficiently than other types of designs is a statement that doesn't mean anything as far as I know. Fractal energy is not a type of energy.
I don't know what you mean there. I once used a prism to get some light on some ants. It made them moderately uncomfortable when I was a little kid. I felt bad though. No, I was with a prism, but I could hold it at a particular angle and kind of get the light to concentrate a little bit. So is that what he's talking about?
Well, I mean,
it didn't make it lethal to the ants, but I'm sure it like kind of gave him a tan. I still felt bad for it. Like I didn't.
I totally did the lethal version where I just had a big and they would pop. It was terrible. I might be a monster.
I would set traps with the magnifying. I would start a leaf on fire and get it smoking. The one that they were pulling, they'd be pulling it, and I would start it on fire on one end just to see what they would do. Like, are they going to abandon it? Or are they going to try to get it home? They always abandoned it. So they were smart. Yeah.
But what he discovered was it was the location of the pyramids that created the power. And when he built his facility here in Colorado Springs, and then on the East Coast, he did so according to the laws of where the pyramids at Giza were constructed. And it had to do with the elliptical orbit of the Earth and those sites' relationship to the actual equator.
There is no evidence that suggests any of this was a concern for him at all. None.
Exactly. And even if it had, Tesla was kind of a loony.
Yeah, even if he did it, it's just like, okay, cool. You know, what they're describing here sounds like the Ghostbusters movie when they get to the end and they're talking about the construction of the building that Sigourney Weaver's character, is in, and how this crazy guy built it to like be basically like an antenna for paranormal energy and stuff. Like these guys are talking about Tesla in the same way. Like you don't understand though. I mean, do they really think that his other place, whatever it was called, was a death ray? That he had a death ray on it? Because that was
they probably do. The death ray conspiracy about Tesla is one of the most common, and it's
Alex Mark, why can't we power the world off stupid? There's an unlimited supply of it. When we get there, oh man. Yeah, humanity will be necessary for the future of all other life in the universe because of the amount of stupid that we can power up and get things chugging along. I mean, I think we can do it.
I think Jedi has a valid point here.
Ley lines and woo power.
Yes. It's clearly what we're talking about, though.
It is. It is exactly what we're talking about.
It is ley lines and shit, yeah.
They haven't used the term ley lines. They seem to be saying that it's associated strictly as a matter of latitude, and that it's due to a special location because. So where they're going with this is that Giza is very close to being on the 30th parallel, if I recall correctly. great. Boulder, Colorado has a road called Baseline Road. And the reason Baseline Road is called Baseline Road is because it is on exactly the 40th parallel. Does that mean that everybody from Boulder is like holy and amazing? I'm from Boulder. In graduate school, I grew up in Chicago. So I will encourage anybody who wants to say yes to that question and worship me. This is a coup against Maya. I'm getting kicked off, aren't I?
But you don't have the tits to like usurp my power.
Well, not yet.
But get to working.
I don't eat healthy.
That there was an actual construction somehow taking place between those very specific sites and the overall energy field of the Earth. And because of that, he believed he could transmit power wirelessly.
Tesla's discovery and device disappeared after his mysterious death in 1943.
He was 85 years old, and he was quite impoverished and not mentally well, and did not have support systems. Tesla lived a pretty tragic life. Like,
I love it when these guys try to put it like, sorry to interrupt, but it's like, well, he died under mysterious circumstances. Like, no, he didn't. No, he didn't. He got old, and he died alone, unfortunately. Yeah. Yep. Also, no death ray. Didn't have a death ray.
No.
But what he was trying to tap in.
Also, Purple, I'm offended.
Okay.
I feel like
so. I started a poll in the chat to see who likes real titties and who likes weasel titties.
I'm going to report that I'm offended. No, it's okay.
It's Easter. Why not?
We've already talked about pyramid splooge, so I mean.
No, yeah. Jeff was asking earlier. It's like, well, and monetization, and I'm like, what? Just give me money. I'm not trying to satisfy the algorithm anymore. It's not fun. I'm not going to come out here and cover up. And today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about nice and totally nice and Christian things. It's like, no, I'm gonna go tits out, and we're gonna have some fun over here. Like, the whole point of the stream is to forget all the fuckery that you had to deal with all week, and we're gonna go into the new week happy.
Yeah.
And how are we gonna do that if we're trying to suck off an algorithm? Like, fuck that shit.
Tap's not gonna be happy though. He's getting worked up about this Tesla nonsense though. So
look, no, I need everybody to take off your shirts, whip out your tits, and just scream, just run through the streets. Like, I will not be stifled by an algorithm. God damn it!
I can't do it. I got lost. It was too complicated. I got headphones on.
Well, you can do that after the stream. Right now, I need you to press the goddamn play button.
Might have just scratched the surface of understanding the power of something much more ancient.
No, I didn't.
Ancient doesn't mean
According to Nikola Tesla, 369 is the key to the universe.
369!
Mafia.
Damn, he's fine.
Tesla became so obsessed with this 369 that he would drive around a building 3 times before going inside of it.
So
why do we believe this?
This might be true. This sounds like a flavor of obsessive compulsive disorder that I can absolutely imagine Tesla having.
He might have had it.
And
but why
fixation
we have,
with, I've
I
heard this elsewhere. This is not the first place I've heard this. I've heard this a lot of places. Tesla was
particular.
And he really genuinely dealt with, in retrospect, fairly clear diagnosable mental disorders. And one of those was very clearly OCD.
That's sort of like the myth that he fell in love with a pigeon kind of thing was actually just kind of an exaggeration. In his middle years and later, he would rescue, he would take care of injured pigeons and stuff like that. But because he was so eccentric about a lot of other things, and people just found him kind of off-putting and strange, they would just create these stories like, you know,
He
actually is going to will all of his stuff. He put a pigeon in his will and he tried to marry it. And it's like, he didn't try to do that. Like,
well, did he put it in his will?
It just seems like this is a little far-fetched. That before he parked, he would drive around a building 3 times.
I can imagine that occurring at one stage when his condition was particularly strong. The thing about these sorts of things is they can kind of, you're absolutely right. But I haven't just heard it from this guy. I have heard this from much more reputable sources. I could be wrong.
I mean, so like you were giving me the side eye when I was talking about it, him wanting to give like free electricity. And you're like, I don't know about that, bitch. That's just crazy talk. But like over here, it's just like, yeah, he likes to like burn gas for no reason. This is fine.
Well, he thought he had free electricity. He just never actually had it, is my point.
No, yeah, I'm not saying any of that ever happened.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I
believe that he wanted to. I believe that, you know, this is one of the many things that he was working on. And I mean, obviously, if not diagnosing Tesla, if you have OCD, then this could be a thing that you would do.
This particular.
However, I would like more than Billy. I don't know if anybody knows who Billy Carson is.
I totally agree with you. I could not. I mean, absolutely on your same page. Okay. The reason I sort of brought it up to kind of not to point out that this is something that I've also heard is because I imagine our audience, being reasonable people mostly, are going to be like, okay, well, if he says this, it's probably like wrong. And like Tesla was a weird guy. He did a lot of weird things.
I agree that he seemed a little eccentric. But again, yeah, I mean, bad source. Moving.
What I think is Billy Carson is listed as researcher. What does that
mean? I mean, it sounds a lot better than like conspiracy theorist, right?
Yeah, like person who Googles, folk legends about Tesla. According to what I could find, apparently the one documented activity that he did that people now think probably might indicate maybe OCD or on the spectrum, he counted steps.
Okay. Yeah.
He would like going up steps. He would count them, and he did have a fondness for it. He was obsessed with cleanliness.
Yeah,
I used to do that when I was learning to count.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I would do things like that. I would count steps and stuff. It was kind of an anxiety thing. Yeah. So
I don't know. It's just like I remember being on a kick once. Like I want to count from 1 to 100, like just in one sitting and just go. Never happened. Like it never happened. But yeah, I remember like doing that, and like one of the things I did was counting steps, because clearly, you know, envision like 6-year-old Maya with ADHD brain. It's like I have to walk there. It must be at least 100 steps. You know,
I did that for a period of time after my mental breakdown in graduate school got like really bad, and I was doing a lot of meditating and therapy and whatnot. I started meditating on my walk to work, and I would count every breath, and it was just around an even 500 breaths.
I can actually for meditation, counting your breaths is considered a good visualization tool, because it's hard to keep your mind on nothing, right? And so if you're like focusing on your breaths, counting them is one way to keep your mind off a squirrel.
For sure.
He cleaned his plates with.
Not gonna lie though, he's got the whole sort of intriguing mystery man vibe pretty down, I think.
Remember when we used to see this picture of Tesla in every fucking stream?
Oh, look. They're captivating.
Look, you don't know that they're telling the truth, you know, because they don't use they don't give you not references, but they don't cite shit. They talk while showing you a picture of Nikola Tesla. And that's how you know they're serious.
Mahala Yaga writes, according to IMDb, Billy Carson. Yeah.
No. Cray.
No. Oh. Cray and cringe. Sorry.
Cray and cringe.
Wait, hold on. IMDb is not where you go to look up people's scientific research credentials. I'm just going to point that out.
No, but you know what? If you are, for your average charlatan or entertainer, somebody who should not be taken as more than an entertainer, IMDb is the perfect place you go.
No matter what Graham Hancock says or is able to convince the world of, why am I blurry? I don't know. It's a bad thing.
Well, for researchers, yes. Entertainers, this is as good a place as any.
Yeah.
And I love that she went to IMDb, because that is where you should go to look up the credentials of people like Billy Carson, because this fucking asshole. You're not going to find him anywhere that has credible researchers. Like, that's just not going to happen.
100%. And if on board. I'm on board with all that. I love our audience. That was, I now realize that everything I could have said might have sounded like an attack on the person who said it. And
no. There's nothing but love.
That was not what I meant. I meant, like, because the thing is, we listen to so much bullshit on Bad Science Sunday.
I feel bad, because if you go looking for Billy Carson, you're hoping to find, like, okay, am I going to see a CV somewhere or anything? Like, no, an IMDb listing showing he's a CEO for some clearly shady. They probably sell crystals, for God's sake.
It's like, you can have the Carson, you can have the first name starting with Ben, you can have it be a black guy, and come up with somebody who at least has some credentials that are a little bit impressive. Ben Carson is who I'm talking about. The guy actually did some, like, cool surgery stuff the one time.
Ben, everybody knows Ben used to be a really cool guy, and then he retired from medicine.
Always a little bit of an asshole on those issues.
No. I live in the same city as Johns Hopkins. Like, we know. We know, at least. I mean, but, like, when you're Ben Carson, you're going to have a bit of an ego. You have the whole world telling you that, like, sucking you off, pretty much. Yes. And honestly, it's not even just him. All Hopkins doctors now have that same kind of air about them. They are
probably.
They're prima donna bitches. And, you know, if I ever get hired by Hopkins, I'm sorry. I didn't mean any of that. However,
I would say it's probably not all of the doctors. It probably is.
I mean, it probably is, though.
All of the surgeons. Surgery is a profession for which, like, psychopathy is a positive indication of success for.
Okay. But, I mean, Hopkins is doing some great stuff. They did great stuff with coronavirus. Like, great stuff. We were constantly going to their site looking for, you know, what are the best practices. What do we as retirement homes? Because I'm sorry if anybody doesn't know, I'm an HR director in probably the third retirement community. Well, I'm about to go into my third retirement community since COVID started. The retirement community I was in, I helped spear or lead the
nursing
directors in spearheading. Is that the word I'm thinking of? Yeah, with practices and protocols. And I'm not clinical. I can't take credit for, like, leading the charge on this is what we should do. But definitely with training and making sure that employees remain compliant. We had 0 patients infected by staff with COVID. I was very proud of that.
Yeah.
Everybody coming in had to get the COVID shot. So I was in charge of educating all new hires on that. I've been in charge, I've been responsible for making sure that, like, a couple of dozen of women in my community got the COVID shot. Very proud of that. So not saying anything bad about Hopkins. I was following their lead on all of that. However, the doctors, prima donna bitches. Sorry, I just got to say it.
There's a reason for that. The reason the doctors at a place like Johns Hopkins are prima donna bitches is the same reason that lawyers at the top law firms in like New York City are prima donna bitches, because we live in a sort of capitalist society where that's not necessarily a feature of capitalism. It's a feature of the social ways that people who are at the top of their field sort of get their ego they're just constantly getting like light fellatio, just like all the time, right?
It's totally getting sucked off. Like you have no idea the huge, like the hoops that they jump through to maintain their happiness.
What did Carson name his own memoirs? Was it These Healing Hands or something like
that?
Yeah,
you're right. Yeah, you're right.
Was just like, I
will also say that was probably a decision that was pushed really heavily also by an editorial marketing thing.
Yeah.
Like he may have had nothing to do with, like, for example, in my field, there was a physicist, Leonard Lederman, who has a Nobel Prize, and he could have gotten it for a variety of things in his case. He's like one of those guys. And he started and founded a school which still exists for like teaching math and science in Illinois. IMSA, Illinois Math and Science Academy. I don't know if you were familiar with it, Maya. And he published a book about the Higgs particle in the 90s or something. And the editorial team was able to convince him to name it the God particle. This is the guy who did that. And so sometimes editors make you do terrible things.
I do want to send a shout out to J.L. Warren. I usually don't greet or send off, I don't know, say bye to anybody in the chat, but I think this might be JL's first time in my chat. So I do appreciate you coming by since I've seen so many other chats. And JL, it's kind of funny story. I told him, I was like, you always do your lives at like, or your premieres at 5 p.m. when I'm driving home. So by the time I get the notification, I'm at home and the thingy was ended. And I think like 1 week he did alter it. So that was like, I don't know. That was super cool. So I love being worshipped. And big shout out to JL for worshiping me that 1 week.
Gifted hands. It was gifted. See, and I get this. Like, yeah, you're right.
Gifted hands is frankly not that bad.
Okay, maybe not, but like,
right?
He's like, no, don't stroke his shaft. He's a doctor too. He's just taking up for his own. Don't indulge him.
If I get an opportunity to write a memoir, if for whatever reason I get an opportunity to write my own memoir, like, should I become that famous? It's never going to happen. But if it did, I want the title to be Unqualified Genius. You better believe that's going to be tongue in cheek, though. It's going to be tongue in cheek. Like, it would have been so funny if Ben Carson's title for his memoirs was "Oops, Butterfingers." That would be hilarious.
That would have been amazing.
He's a surgeon, for God's sake. I mean, it was right there. It was right there, and he's so humorless.
Oh my God!
Like, hey, why not Gifted Hands? Like, ooh, I really like that.
Yeah, I would probably name my like memoir like "Pulling Off Imposter Syndrome" or something like that.
That's good too,
right?
I'd name it "Oops, Where Am I?" All right, giving a shout out to Left-Handed Jedi.
Lived in hotel room.
10 more cult members, bringing us up to 30. Thank you so much. Nothing but love and support. And then, wait, what happened after that? Oh, Dr. Tapioca Weasel gave himself another 10 cult members. And,
5. I only gave 5. Don't give me credit.
10, 5. You're right. You're right. It was only 5. But yeah, it's a lot of people. Oh, Christina
I'm not worth that
I didn't know she'd ever been through here, but I do appreciate her. Oh, and you got Stephanie this time. Way to go.
Woo!
How the fuck is... Oh, Jay's here. Jay, have you ever been to my stream before? What the fuck?
Who are you talking to before? Because I thought you were talking to Jay before, but I don't think you were.
Oh, no, that was J.L. Warren, who's way cooler than Jay. Jay and Jeff used to be roommates.
We were.
So he's like the lesser twin.
Jay, I know. I don't know if I know J.L. Warren. Do I?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Hi, Jay. We love you. I guess that would make you my work brother-in-law. I don't know. I've married your brother unofficially.
Yeah, she's just declared it. It's sort of like a common law marriage, I guess.
You don't have anything to say about it. We're family now. Be nice to me.
I mean, I feel like you and I are like 5% family, Maya.
You owned my grandfather. Where are my goddamn reparations?
I gave you 5 memberships.
That was a whole 5 minutes ago. What have you done for me lately?
Only with the number divisible by 3. He made calculations about things in their immediate environment just to make sure the result was conceivable by 3. And he based his choices on the results. He did everything in sets of 3.
No.
What is Nicholas?
No, there's no evidence of that at all.
I don't think any. Yeah, like
I've been trying to find it. Like, what were some like actual documented ones? And they're like, people thought he was strange because he was really interested in taking care of injured pigeons, and he doted on them. He was obsessively clean. He had a very rigid daily routine, and occasionally they'd catch him counting steps. Other than that, this stuff about him having to drive around a building 3 times,
did he even have a car?
Yeah, who knows? He doesn't seem like the kind of guy that would be interested.
He doesn't. He seems like if he lived in a city, like Colorado Springs or New York, like, given that the time that he was at and how much money he had, he was not a rich fellow.
No.
Yeah.
And he usually isolated himself, which also led to the fact that people thought he was strange.
He was. He was probably. If I had to speculate, I don't know. I don't have it myself, but he was probably on the spectrum. Would be something that I would not be surprised at, sort of given. Yeah.
Let's understand. We must understand that we did not create mathematics. We discovered them.
Wow,
I actually very much agree with that. I'm gonna
discovered it. Oh, fuck! No, that did not happen.
No,
wait, how oh my god. No, we got to do a whole different strangeness on this. I went 2 on 2.
Let's
you know what? No, seriously, like we've got to do this. It's going to be a Saturday stream. There's got to be somebody else in the because I hear this from what do you call it? Apologists all the fucking time. It's like, we discovered math. It's God's language. Atheists are just da, 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 da. I'm not saying that that's your stance.
Yeah.
But it's like saying we discovered the alphabet. No, like we started making sounds. Like, math is what we use to discover the world around us. It's just a tool. We invented all the tools. How do you even make a case for that? How do you make a case that we discovered math?
Because math is the relationship between certain types of propositions. It's a subset of logic.
We invented logic, though.
We invented all of the notation, but we did not invent the fact that when certain things are true, the Pythagorean theorem holds.
Okay.
You are restricted by a certain structure that exists in reality.
That's a concept. It's not an equation, though.
I think it's kind of a bit of both, though. I mean, the notation, the ability to kind of like make
the actual like the Pythagorean theorem. Why can't I talk right now? It's the wine. I blame the weasel, though.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, that's an equation that we came up with to help us talk about this concept that exists.
Could we have come
the
up
concept
with
exists, the math does not.
Okay. Our disagreement then is fundamental. To me, the math, when I am using that word, I'm referring to the abstract structure and whatnot of the concept, like the abstract concept, but in its meta entirety. I am not referring to the body of knowledge and the structure and the theorems that we have written down, some of which are going to be false and are not, real math. I am referring to the thing that we are talking about. I'm referring to the thing that mathematicians are talking about, which does not exist, as far as I understand the concept, and I'm not a philosopher, it does not exist concretely, but it does exist abstractly. There is a thing such as the number 2 and the number 1 that makes sense in certain contexts, and they are different. The number 1 and the number 2. But, like, what is a number? Like, I don't have answers to all of these things, but that is what I'm saying. Understanding that you're not going to add 1 plus 1 and get a number that is smaller than 1 is not a fact that you could discover an alternative to. It is a fact that if you're going to discover anything about that statement, the only thing that you can discover is that it is a true statement. Therefore, it is true. It exists in reality in some sense.
I think it's a testament to the power of math, right? Is that it can reveal that kind of stuff in such a way that we kind of confuse it for the thing that it's describing itself in a way that it kind of blends that. So yeah.
I mean, I hear you, but math is the language that we created to describe the concept to one another. I think they're distinct.
Okay. I think at a certain point, what concepts we have a lot of mathematics that does not apply to anything outside of mathematics as far as anybody can actually describe convincingly. It's just about the propositions and their relationships to themselves. It is structure without content. It is the embodiment of the Buddhist saying, form is emptiness and emptiness is form.
I'm
Anyway.
not really sure where you're coming from there, but
yeah, that's fair.
I think we're closer in agreement than we initially thought we were. But I think there is a disconnect towards the end.
Certainly.
Just like, you guys need to get like 2 or 3 more drinks, and it's discovered.
I know, that's
discovered, invented. Take it back.
It is the universal language and law. No matter where in the universe you are, 1 plus 2 will always equal 3. Everything in the universe obeys this law.
Unless you're talking about a modular mathematics.
These forms are in nature, but the ancients emulated these forms.
This makes me angry to look at.
Is that the tree of life?
By the way, I just want to ask, hey chat, do the walls of this pyramid look like they were done with laser precision?
Well, not anymore.
These are the inside guts, okay? If the inside guts aren't laser precise, then they never were.
Right. Well, I mean, I guess you can blame erosion for some of it, but
that's weird. Normally on this channel, we blame the weasel.
Well, no, yeah, obviously, but
I mean, erosion does happen, but I mean, at the same time, that would be the classic conspiracy. Well, no. If you're seeing any irregularities now, it's because time and weather and stuff have changed it. But when it was originally built, when it was finished, it was perfect, completely perfect.
Yeah, and I want to be very clear that I'm not making that statement either.
Okay, yeah.
You could blame erosion, but I'm going to need more information to actually believe this was perfect.
It's all right there on the screen, though. Gaia's putting it right there. Look at that triangle.
Oh, right, right.
Yeah.
Tree of life. We imposed the tree of life on top of one of the pyramids. Therefore,
Nikola
Tesla.
The source of all life probably sprang out from the bottom of that thing. It's probably like sitting on the navel of the world or whatever, where all life sprang from. the alien mud puddle or whatever, that they installed.
Mud puddle? What?
Like the aliens show up and they make like a mud puddle, and that's where all life on Earth comes from. They'll be back to check on their harvest.
Oh yeah, mud fossils will definitely be back.
Does the puddle fossilize?
Just like, what are you guys still talking about?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, well, the answer is yes. Okay. And
this is an alien. But this is an alien one.
Does a tapioca weasel know?
Maybe it's magic.
What a magnet is.
No.
Forms in construction.
I hate all of them.
If Nikola Tesla's obsession was with these numbers, and his goal was to define his location and time and space,
was it?
Could it be possible that ancient humans created monuments like the Great Pyramids to remind us of these truths?
How many things do we create nowadays that we are building to remind random civilizations in the far future of certain truths? I can think of exactly one example. And I think that's impressive.
What's the example?
The example is what the Scandinavian countries are doing with their nuclear waste.
Oh.
They are putting it in a cave in some mountain way underground, and they're trying to come up with symbols and stuff that they can put all over the cave to try and clearly and convincingly communicate, listen, this isn't sacred or important, this is just dangerous and poisonous and bad. Yeah. And they're trying to do that in a way that is completely language agnostic, because they don't know. I mean, well, we might have wiped ourselves out and restarted from scratch by then, so the people wouldn't know any of the language, and they would just end up digging it up one day, and you'd have to be like, oh, hey, like, really, don't keep going, because you'll get cancer and die. So
yeah, it's bad.
Only example I can think of.
Yeah.
In Sumerian tradition and in the surviving texts, there is a very strong and intriguing
This is our friend Graham Hancock, by the way.
Yeah, I've watched Potholer videos. Potholer 54 loved debunking this guy. Did a whole series on him. I never knew who he was.
A whole series? I haven't seen that, but that probably debunking Graham Hancock would probably not make my my feed.
Minuteman has some good stuff on him.
Graham Hancock is regularly on my front page.
Well, Netflix gave him a TV show. I'm 90% certain that this is where this is from. And that certainly Potholer would have responded to that.
Yeah, that's when a lot of people were like, "Wait, why did Netflix?"
Honestly, it would be
on that guy money.
That would be a very reasonable thing for us to cover on this show. And frankly, now this video started about Nikola Tesla. Now the rest of the video is really just Graham Hancock talking about pyramids.
Yeah.
Well, duh. He's like the world's first and foremost pyramid expert, outside of Nikola Tesla.
Yep.
Who is dead?
There's only two.
Right. Well, yeah. So he's the obvious guy to fill in, what's been going on since.
Dead people, I mean, living people tend to be more helpful than dead people. I would agree. More interactive, at least.
Hancock's just picking up
the problem with dead people is that they stop making content, whereas living people are just like an endless resource.
Or living people can do what I do and just never make content. It's fantastic.
They can also.
You're making content now, though.
No,
I'm making content. He just showed up.
Okay, that doesn't. It's totally different.
I guess I was trying to be generous. I apologize to you.
No, you're being way too generous. But, if you'd ever come by the goddamn stream, you would know that half the side chat has been on his ass about like putting content on his own channel, and he's just like, yeah, I could do that, or fuck all y'all.
I have very high standards.
He says that.
The 7 antediluvian sages, the 7 sages who came before the flood. And their leader is a figure called Oannes. We find that he is depicted as a man, but curiously, he's wearing a sort of fish garb or a fish costume.
This is a great comment, really quick. Like, why am I not, I think it's not shocked that PSS has been live for an hour and a half and we're only 5 minutes into the video. This is your first stream.
Hold on, keep reading.
Because there was a video before this.
We have to disabuse him of a notion.
He's like, I'm guessing there was a video before this, but I'm skeptical. Did you want to
go? There were technically 2 videos, but they were intro videos that were not part of the main Bad Science Sunday content. No, we're just really bad at YouTube, really, I guess.
Yeah, I've stopped. As long as something's longer than 5 minutes, I'm just like, it could be 3 hours long. I'm like, we're not going to get more than 10 minutes in. Fuck it, let's go.
There is a point coming up here about what this guy wears that I started laughing out loud when I was watching.
Let's let him
watch the video.
Archaeologists often refer to him as a fish-garbed figure, and the other 7 sages are also dressed in this fish costume. So you see the legs of a human being, and the face and features of a bearded human being. But then he's wearing on his head the head of a fish, and the body of a fish hangs down his back. It's a very curious idea, really.
It's fucking bonkers, man. Just say it's bonkers. Like,
dressed up like fish. About the fish, man. Like you can dress up like a bear, and you can dress up like a shark. Like it's not.
He's dressed up like a giant fish, and he's got a handbag. Now Grandma's gonna get obsessed. With
he's gonna talk about
fish,
the
and the body of a fish hangs down his, and all of them hold in their hands a curious little bag, which I tend to refer to as a man bag.
Great, good for you.
No, man bag, something else.
I see them as a kind of badge of office.
I can't remember what these are.
A recognizable symbol.
So Mini Minuteman definitely did a whole video about these, but I can't remember what their importance is. But these are like, they're one of the tropes that is so constantly like misinterpreted. Kind of like the Dendera lights, which I don't think he talks about in this video, and stuff like that.
Where perhaps members of a brotherhood would be able to recognize one another by their carrying of this symbol. It's curious that we see a figure holding the same.
Jason Jacoby said a man sack. It would have been hilarious if Graham Hancock was like, I call it a man bag. No, wait, that sounds wrong. Man sack. That's better.
Wait, what? Oh, okay.
Sorry. I gotta say, I don't think that Graham Hancock has that fundamental ability to do one of the key points in what you just described, which is the no, wait, that's wrong part. I don't think he has that. I don't. This is how conspiracy theorists are born. Okay, because you read, okay, yeah, there's that. Okay, that's kind of weird. Okay, that's interesting. Okay. Wait, reptilians? Wait, what? Conspiracy theorists, they don't have the wait what part.
Was he wearing a fish hat? A fish head hat? Yeah, and carrying around his man sack.
Yeah.
Okay.
Obviously. I mean, it's clearly a briefcase and evidence of time travelers and
it's a fact.
Time traveling aliens. Ta-da!
It's a battery. You take the battery with you to secure the vehicle, their spaceship, and you just carry that around that way.
It's a Baghdad battery.
I love Jeff. He came to play.
What about the sacred pine cone in hand?
Right?
That we see on the Sumerian reliefs, and holding it in exactly the same way. And not only that, but
how many ways are there to hold a handbag?
At least 6. Right? I mean, I'm just kidding.
I guess.
I know. Yeah, it was so weird. Like, and you can clearly see him holding it in the way that they preferred, pinched between thumb and forefinger. This indicates that he was a scientist from Mars. Like, what the hell are you talking about, Graham? Blow it out your
Those
ass.
same bags turn up on top of Pillar 43 in Enclosure D at Göbekli Tepe, where we know that they're...
Okay, we're about to get some hardcore stupid. Okay, because Graham just brought up Pillar 43 at Göbekli Tepe.
Yeah.
Which is one of the most awesome artifacts that we have from human history.
It's sweet, yeah.
Prehistory? I guess this is like one of those things that I don't know if it counts as history or prehistory, because like this is sort of like writing, right? I guess not really, but
Sure.
but he's about to say something stupid. He said, I'm going to go back 5 steps.
He's about to say something stupid.
Yeah, well, because he's
Closure
saying
D.
he's going to say something about what we know about Göbekli Tepe. Göbekli, or is it Göbekli?
Göbekli. It's Göbekli.
Right there.
Tepe.
Just read it.
Maya,
Sir.
I have a brain case size of like 0.8 cubic centimeters. Reading is not a thing I can do.
At Göbekli Tepe, where we know that they're at least 11,600 years old. The tradition is clearly rooted.
Okay, so they are at least 11,600 years old. Maybe that's not stupid. I think it's stupid though, because I think we know it's. I don't think we know it's that old. I think it's like 2,000 years younger, but I don't know. I need a fact check.
Wait, what are you asking?
I feel like Jefferson's got it.
Oh.
Hopefully.
What was the question?
The question was, how old is Göbekli Tepe?
Oh, is it 11,000 BC or is it 11,000 years ago?
Yeah, they think.
I thought it was 11,000 years ago.
The range is 9,500 to 8,000 BCE. So yeah, big range.
Okay, so 11,000 years ago. Okay.
Yeah, so he's off by 2,000 years. But in this particular case, that's only like 20%, which isn't that bad.
I mean, it's more accurate than the rest of the shit he pulls out of his ass.
Exactly.
Or the flood. Then comes the flood. The cataclysm wipes everything.
Oh, I just really quick though. Only 15% of the chat likes your titties. I just wanted to, you know. But
you know, 15% of the chat should check out my OnlyFans. I should get an OnlyFans.
Out, but that brotherhood persists through the flood, and after the flood, they are again offering the gifts of civilization to mankind.
Yeah,
could Oannes and his sages have re-emerged after the cataclysm?
Right? Exactly. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I think Graham does believe in some big thing like that, right? I wonder what he dates it at.
Right?
Yeah.
Flood to teach the knowledge of the universe? In Sumerian cuneiforms, Enki is sometimes depicted as a bearded man wearing a fish costume and sometimes carrying a bag. Interesting to note that in the Egyptian depictions of gods, they are not holding a bag, but an important symbol called the Ankh.
Well, fuck, does the bag mean anything or not?
He was an old man that wandered around and quite frequently always bored people with the same tired, crass joke. People would ask him, "What are you carrying there, Enki?" And he'd be like, "It's my dick in a box." Caught on, and it became a trend. Everybody was like, "Hey, I got a box from my dick."
No, I mean, he was just like, "Look at the bag. Here's the bag over here. Here's a bag over there. Oh my God, now they've got a bag. Now they've got an Ankh." I'm like, well, what the fuck? Like, does the bag mean something or not?
It probably does mean something.
What was the point of that? What was the goddamn point?
Maybe they're going to theorize, well, you're royalty if you can constantly keep one hand preoccupied holding some random piece of shit. You know, you don't have to.
That might be true.
I mean, yeah, who knows?
Right, from a behavioral evolutionary perspective, like that would be a selection pressure on royalty that most people would not have.
Yeah, I can carry this around.
Oh, see, B.S. Lewis coming in the clunch.
Did you say in the clunch?
Did I say that?
I heard in the clunch. Did you hear that?
I don't know.
I did hear something like clunch, yeah.
Clutch, CLUTCH, clutch. I mean, I don't know why look, I'm drinking wine. You can't even like.
I know, and it makes me envious every time you say it.
Can't even hit the
It is
goddamn
also
like button.
connected
I mean,
with
like
Isis
button.
and the planet
button.
Venus. Could these carrying devices be
Need more wine,
transmitting the
BRB.
same kind of energy?
They're
Anton
batteries.
Park's research has traced the reemergence of Enki to Egypt, and as a byproduct of his death, the building of the Great Pyramid.
Wait, they think that the Great Pyramid was. I've missed this bit of the video. They think this is like a tomb for Enki.
This is so strange. This makes and now the bag could hold what, pyramid splooge? Is that essentially what they're saying? It's got that pyramid energy.
No, pyramid splooge is the ancient pyramid energy that shoots out to the sky.
Yeah, no, I think this is the pyramid testicles. But you got to hold the bag. Or sorry, the man sack.
The truck nuts for the pyramid. Yeah. Just take this and tack it in there. Like, we're just going to add some more energy so that this pyramid can really splooge it out. Got to keep the universe spinning.
I mean, yeah. Angular momentum isn't going to conserve itself. It is.
Pyramid.
La pyramide, je pense, a été créée pour refaire.
Well, that's just French.
In my view, the Great Pyramid was built by Isis.
Oh.
Wow. That, I mean.
Well, obviously.
This guy is my favorite.
I'm going to intentionally misconstrue ISIS to mean the modern day terrorist organization instead of the ancient deity, because it's so much funnier when you interpret everything that they say through that lens. It's so much funnier.
I believe it was created to reincarnate Osiris into Horus. It is quite complicated. The Osirian, the so-called aquatic temple dedicated to Osiris in Abydos, Abaju in Egyptian, means it is located in the city, which is, according to Egyptian history, the first city of Osiris. Yet, to be able to find seashells on a temple located in the middle of the desert, you have to go back thousands of years, at least 10,000 years. Why?
What?
Wait, did people who lived in deserts not know about seashells?
I mean,
I'm not even sure any of this is true.
This does not seem correct. And why would you go back to a temple that's like 10,000 years? Like,
Did they build it underwater? What the fuck?
I don't understand why this would be a problem.
I mean, think about the census, right? It's just like in the book of Luke. Whenever there's a census, you have to go back to your hometown from your ancestors from 1,000 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
They did.
And that's what everybody has to do. And we have to do that every 10 years. Isn't it so inconvenient?
Those Romans didn't give a shit. Yeah. It's like, you're doing this.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Why would he have made such a temple with aquatic features? Because Osiris, who's also Enki, they are the same person, had amphibian genes.
Enki.
Osiris.
Oh, holy shit. He really does think.
They have amphibian genes.
He really does think it was built underwater. I thought I was being like silly.
Is this all supposed to? Are they supposed to be like Atlanteans? Is that what this is supposed to be?
But nobody thinks that Atlanteans were underwater.
Well,
right.
Oh my god. Until today.
I like that this guy goes weirder than, because Hancock's like, well, this man seems to be dressed like a fish with a strange fish head hat and a crazy man sack. And then this guy's like, no, they had amphibian DNA, man.
Yeah.
That's what's led to do this.
Therefore, the structures were underwater and seashells.
So these people were actually, they were a race of highly evolved, highly advanced frog people. Or gecko men.
Oh my god.
I said it was a fish in a man costume. Yeah, okay, he was right.
Yep.
That's a fish wearing a man face, not a man wearing a fish head.
I mean, it's kind of like the ancient debate. Is man, bear, pig half man and half bear pig, or half man, bear, and half pig?
He was underwater and lived in a building constructed underwater with seashells on top. Oh my God. I think I missed this part when I was looking through it.
I'm going to have nightmares about amphibian
This is
ancients.
insane to me.
Yeah, carrying purses and building temples.
Had amphibian genes. Osiris, Enki, was killed by his nemesis Set, who is in fact Enlil, during one of their many battles. It took place in Abydos, which also corresponds to the Sumerian Apsu, where Osiris's aquatic temple can be found. The texts clearly state that all of Osiris's servants were slaughtered during a battle, as well as Osiris himself, who was crucified on a tree. This is how he died. Isis is quite a character. She can't really be found in Mesopotamia.
Man, I did read about Osiris like once a long time ago. I probably should have brushed up for this video. I feel like that's not right. But I could be wrong.
Jason Jacob, who lives in a pineapple under the sea? That's great. Yeah.
Osiris.
I'm more inclined to believe Harry Potter is actually is a documentary now, rather than it's a true Hogwarts is a real place. That's more plausible than whatever that was.
They've got mer people in the lake.
Oh, that's true. Okay, so I guess this all stinks together. It's all starting to fit. Okay, all right, I can be a conspiracy theorist too.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, John. It's like, stop it. Stop this now. Osiris was not an aquatic fish person that lived
400 feet.
You know, John's right. John, everybody follow John. He's just. I don't have enough wine for this.
I mean, there was a time when the Bering Strait was above water.
Yeah.
I don't know how deep that is. I don't know.
We all know that there used to be more land exposed. There used to be less land exposed. There's a time when the whole earth was covered in ice. However, all of that being true, none of this fucking shit happened.
Guys, Maya isn't open-minded.
Holy fucking shit.
She really isn't. What about the fish that wore the man face, Maya?
Right?
I want to know more about that.
It was in the buildings and everything, obviously.
These guys, but Graham and the French guy.
Graham Hancock.
It was
and
guy wearing a fish hat.
Zacharias Sitchin and fucking Nikola Tesla. It's the God trifecta there.
Did Nikola Tesla walk around with a man bag?
369, Jeff. 369.
Not for you. All right. Sorry.
Although she could be considered the goddess Ninti, she is the woman who lives in the great deeps, underground. I think that these underground passageways could correspond to the ones we can find under the Giza Plateau. We know that the Giza Plateau is full of underground passages. I believe that the clan of Osiris lived there.
Why?
Why would you believe that?
Is it full of underground passages? There are probably at least a few. I don't know if it's full of them.
I think there's no idea. Access hallways. Yeah, there's access hallways and stuff like that. Some of them kind of dead end and stuff. Well, you wouldn't live in.
I'm not gonna lie though. I would probably, if I had the option between living mostly in a shaded area underground, as opposed to on the top of the Sahara Desert. And I didn't know how to build a tent or something.
Exactly.
Yeah. Then that would make a lot of sense. I mean, the underground option is kind of more permanent and cool and awesome. It's self temperature regulating in a different way.
Yeah,
they built deep enough.
Yeah, you got a giant basement, maybe. Now, see, that would have been really impressive if they'd actually, before they started stacking the rocks up, they built an entire, one giant basement.
Well, yeah, I mean, they probably had to do some foundational work, right? They probably did have to do a foundation for the pyramid. The pyramid, if there are anything, they are heavy, right? So,
yeah,
and they haven't sagged. That might be the most impressive thing about them. That or they're just built on
some solid rock. Yeah.
That isn't sand, I guess. Because it looks like it would be sand, but.
As far as the resurrection of Osiris into Horus is concerned, Isis organizes it. The texts are very clear about that. And we understand that she used Osiris's genetic code to create Horus. She created the Great Pyramid in order to accomplish this task. The Great Pyramid allowed Isis to find Osiris's soul again. We don't really know how. She would have put Horus's...
Where'd he leave it? Where'd he leave his soul? He misplaced it? She's like, oh, I can find it. I got it.
What?
They probably don't even know. We've been bombing them a lot.
Oh my God. No, this is not how.
Nitty,
Oh,
yeah,
God
she
damn
used
it.
semen. This is so weird. This French guy is clearly broken. Yeah, his
genetic code in the pyramid. She would have been able to create another body using Osiris's genetic code, the so-called UF in Egyptian, body. And thanks to the coding of the Great Pyramid, she reached Osiris's soul so it could come into the new body of Horus.
It's just that easy.
Wait, so I feel like one of them is a Horcrux. Which one is the Horcrux?
That was the handbag.
The handbag is the Horcrux. That tracks. Tom Riddle would totally have used an ancient Egyptian handbag as a Horcrux if he had it. Instead of the diary, like, what is the diary? Come on.
A diary. Books burn, man. How about this ancient Egyptian handbag? Perfect.
Yeah.
It's
right?
styling.
Although the dating of the Great Pyramid has been argued by different scientists, there is evidence
so what was
that
he saying about, like, how did she built a pyramid to get Osiris's body back? Is that what?
To get his soul into a new
body,
into the body of Horus, which she assembled out of his DNA.
Yeah, it's like a resurrection Horcrux ritual. Like,
I mean, it sounds like some kind of technology in a Stargate episode. Like, oh, they use this to regenerate their bodies. Blah blah blah.
Well, do souls exist in Stargate?
I don't know if one of the alien races. It's been a long time since I've watched that show, and it was oh god, I hated that show. Yeah, somebody did. They're like quantum blobs or something like that. I don't know. They tried.
Oh yeah, quantum blobs. Oh well, I mean, those are real.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was trying to. Oh God, I get all these ancient Egyptian myths confused. But it's like, he most elaborate and influential story. It concerns the murder of the god Osiris, who died at the hands of his brother Set, who took the throne. His wife Isis restored her husband's body, allowing him to posthumously conceive their son Horus. I'm like looking through here, and I'm like, there has nothing to do with pyramids.
No,
believe it or not, zero things to do with.
This is essentially the one way I decided to start off Easter Sunday was to try to watch all of The Last Temptation of Christ, which was a massive mistake. I made it about 50 minutes into it. I've seen clips of it and stuff, big chunks. I've never watched it all the way through. There's a reason. It's not good. I'm not a big Scorsese fan to begin with. That's one of his worst, easily. I didn't know it at the time that it's nearly 3 hours long. But the writer is essentially doing the same thing this guy is. Like, it's just this fictitious kind of like, what if all this stuff could kind of mean this? And then I'll move these characters around to make it work. So... yeah, they're just rearranging mythology to fit a conspiracy theory.
Yeah, and I mean, it's so hard because with ancient text, especially in Egypt, like I'm like a Egyptologist or like that I study any of this shit ever. There's the few things that I've read. They always have variations of the stories, so you don't get like, it's not one story. It's like, well, in one version you get this, and another version you get that. But
yeah,
the only thing I'm able to find about pyramids is that they're according to a spell in the pyramid text. So I'm like, it had nothing to do with him being brought back. I mean, he was a god, and his wife was a god. So gods do god shit. I don't see why. Like, I don't know. There's written words had the power to affect reality. I don't know. I'm probably like holding up the stream. But I'm just like, I'm looking at this. I'm like, I don't understand why they think that or why they would think this or like what part of their ass they're pulling this out of, because I've looked through like 3 different versions of the story and none of them have anything to do with any of the pyramids.
Yeah.
But Maya, don't be such a Debbie Downer. Like, come on.
Oh yeah.
This is clearly
I didn't know why I didn't go there immediately.
Yeah,
Horus isn't Osiris's son. No,
it's
Osiris. Yeah.
She reached Osiris's soul, so it could come into the new body of Horus.
New body, who dis?
Although the dating of the Great Pyramid has been argued by different scientists,
you know, the Great Pyramid is old enough to do whatever the Great Pyramid wants to do as far as dating goes. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
There is evidence that below the monument, something existed there that was much older.
When we look at the Great Pyramid, the Second Pyramid, and Third Pyramid, there's no doubt in my mind that they were being reused, should we say, partially reconstructed, built upon during dynastic times. Just like the Sphinx itself was being repaired during dynastic times. But I'm also convinced that at least the core of those pyramids, particularly the Great Pyramid and the Second Pyramid, go back to a much earlier period. So for instance, the Great Pyramid is actually built on what I would call a sacred mound. And this is acknowledged even by the Egyptologists. Now they say it all goes back to the 4th dynasty.
Built on a sacred mound?
I mean, maybe. I don't. So far, nothing this guy has said has sounded necessarily like that. I don't know what sacred mound.
Yeah, this doesn't come across as like pants on fire, scary, stupid.
No, this sounds like the part that might be like plausible that they sandwich in between the crazy parts that like they have a normal person say to give the crazy people more weight.
It seems like if a mound is sacred, you wouldn't want to build a tomb on it. Just saying.
Maybe. I mean, like the Jedi Temple,
So the only thing I can think of is like they had a ceremony. Like once they decided where they were going to put a pyramid, they would have this dedication ceremony, like of the land, and I don't know. Maybe they like built a mound, and that's what he's saying. It's like, oh well, now the land is sacred, but it's not like they built it there because the land was sacred.
I mean, they might have. It might have been super controversial at the time, right?
No,
we don't even know.
You would designate land, and then of course, it's okay. So like the king was the embodiment of Horus or Osiris, one of them, but he was a god in man form. So you would want to have all these rituals and pomp and bullshit whenever you're doing a thing in honor of his life, or and death wasn't death. It was like a transition. It was you're ushering out one version of yourself into your next whatever. And then I think there was like some kind of recycling in the beliefs, but don't quote me on that. But you don't build on sacred ground. I'm pretty sure this is like most at least cultures believe that. I don't understand where he's going with this.
Yeah, you do if you're like a huge prick who's like doing stuff that he can get away with because he's like rich and powerful sometimes.
Oh, you mean like landowning white men?
Yeah, I mean like Elon Musk.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of wondering if maybe like if they had this sacred place and people used it as a gathering place, and then it starts getting co-opted by royalty or at some point, then they start building around it to provide security, and then they start building on top of it even more. So basically, this guy's running theory is a lot of these pyramids were kind of like a work in progress. They were basically being retrofitted and expanded upon over time, which that might
did not happen. Did not happen.
I don't know. I don't know enough about.
All right, but look into like the, I don't know what they're called, but they're like dedication ceremonies. Like you would bless the ground that you're going to build a pyramid on.
Okay.
dynasty circa 2500 BC. But my analysis is that at least the core, the original portions, for instance, the descending passage, the subterranean chamber, go back to a much earlier period. Then it was built over, and I think some of that building over it goes back to prior to dynastic times.
Could this be proof of the clan of Osiris and their knowledge? And could this group have...
No.
Like, I don't even know how to answer that. I mean, no is great. No is great.
Yeah.
Have harnessed the powers of the universe to bring back a god. Some experts point to the fact that the Great Pyramid itself has always been connected with the after.
Okay, this bugs me. This picture is not even lined up right. Like this
it never will be.
Not right. Like
yeah.
This star is definitely off to the left. This one I feel like is also definitely off to the left. I'm pretty sure this one is also off to the left, but it is objectively a lot harder to tell with that one.
And you know what's really funny in the Woo community, though? I don't know if there's also, oh God, I don't know if there's like 3 stars and what I want to say like the Pleiades or something, but there's like competing theories about when, like in the Woo community, about when the pyramids were built.
This is Orion in this case.
No. I know that's Orion, but I'm trying to think of what the other one was. And the Pleiades sound about right just because they're used a lot.
Yeah.
No. But there's 3 lined up. It's another one where there's like 3 stars lined up like that. And it's again an ancient. I'm thinking Pleiades because it's another ancient alien theory thing, and they always come up there. But I could be wrong about it. But there are at least 2 that I know of competing ancient alien theories about when the pyramids were built. And it's funny because the other one calls out the bullshit on the ones for Orion's belt as not being lined up exactly. It's like, other people will tell you that they line up perfectly, but if you actually print it out, you can't get it to line up perfectly. Unlike our bullshit scheme to get money from you, where we reconfigure the stars to line up perfectly.
That last guy that was talking, was he talking? I mean, he was talking about the 3, but he was also talking about Giza, right? He believed that the interiors were older than the exteriors. There's an older core down below, kind of thing.
I mean, yeah,
probably.
I think.
So, yeah, I did look this up. The archaeological.
This guy might be legit, is what I'm saying. Like possibly.
But I think he's trafficking with something kind of maybe a little
idiosyncratic. He doesn't look crazy.
Yeah, the archaeological consensus is that no, the internal core and the exterior of the pyramid were built simultaneously, and that archaeologists believe it had to be done that way because of the way they were building them. So
yeah, that's what I would think.
Yeah. So yeah, points to Maya, I guess. I can't award points on this, so I apologize. But
no, you're fine. All we're doing is drinking and laughing. I am like.
Well, some of us are drinking.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I can't. Sorry, I'm
just being pious tonight. That's fine.
Yeah, it's Easter.
Proof of the clan of Osiris and their knowledge. And could this group have harnessed the powers of the universe to bring back a god?
Only with the Castle Grayskull. They have to get the sword and the sorceress in Castle Grayskull. Everybody knows this. You can't be a master of the universe without Castle Grayskull.
This is a fact.
It is known.
Yeah.
Fact that the Great Pyramid itself has always been connected with the afterlife.
What you'll find inside those pyramids is acres and acres and acres of texts, deeply inscribed into the walls. They belong to the same...
Acre is an extremely weird unit of measurement to describe text, but it is compelling. I'm not going to lie.
Right? Acres of writing, huh?
Right? Like that's kind of hardcore. Like, I want to look up how many acres of published material Leonard Euler had in his time, right? Like that's kind of
how many acres of bullshit do I have to wade through to find something of substance in this video?
Vast.
I mean, an infinite amount. There's nothing of substance in this video, Maya. I don't know what you want.
You get to those acres and acres of writing, and you look up, and you're like, "It was elves all along,"
body of literature to which belongs the famous ancient Egyptian Book of the Dead. And the ultimate moment in your journey through the Duat is your entry into the judgment hall of Osiris, the hall of Ma'at, and where you will be asked to account for everything that you've done with your life. So it seems to me very clear that the Great Pyramid is part of an attempt to create a three-dimensional model of the afterlife realm.
Well, okay.
How is that clear to him? I mean, it's clear as mud to me, but
well, no, it's not mud. He pulled it out of his ass. It's definitely something else.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Mud butt. Yeah.
I don't have words.
If the ancient text from both Sumerian cuneiforms and Egyptian books suggest the Great Pyramid as a place to resurrect the dead, could there be another hidden message?
There is an ancient code to be found within the Great Pyramid. It's within the geometry, not just of the pyramid itself, but its relationship to the other two main pyramids of the Giza Plateau. Having studied this for a number of years, it seems to be related very much to do with the idea of the music of the spheres, the idea that there is some kind of connection between the primal tones of the universe itself.
Oh no.
The primal tones of the universe itself.
So,
hey, you're a physicist.
What he's talking about is the primordial gravitational waves, which nobody has yet detected. And
but you have a whole name for it.
Primordial gravitational waves, which frankly is not that. The primordial is like adjacent to whatever he said, right?
Sure.
I can't remember what he said.
I mean, nobody's detected it, but we have a name.
Well,
yeah, I mean, we had a name for Bose-Einstein condensation before.
Okay, but like you actually know what he's talking about.
No, because he doesn't know what he's talking about. He's not really.
Well, what do you think he's talking about?
I think he's talking about. So what I'm doing is I'm taking the flowery language that he said that is fundamentally for him vacuous, and I am assigning the meaning that a physicist trying to be flowery might assign it. Okay. I totally am down with describing gravitational waves as like listening to the music and the sounds of the cosmos, even though like you don't have sound going through space. The analogy, I think, is totally it's fundamentally sound, in my opinion.
Is there a brown note in it? Like if you heard it? Sorry.
Oh shit, I don't know.
All right, so what would a scientist? What would be a scientific way of putting it? Because clearly something scientific is in your head.
That you have gravitational waves that happened as a consequence of like the Big Bang, like when inflation sort of stopped. There were ripples in space-time that have effects that we have been trying to measure. And there was a big controversy back in like 2013 or 2014 with the Bicep 2 experiment where they thought they had measured it, and then a bunch of other physicists were like, I think you guys saw a bunch of dust. And it was kind of a little bit of a embarrassment.
I think you got swatted.
Yeah.
You got copyright slapped. Yep.
Me?
Just now?
Yeah.
What?
Stream unavailable. Stream suspended for policy violations.
Oh, did we go too long?
No.
It's for going too long. I think after school wants to see you after school.
Oh,
we just got kicked off. We're no longer live, right?
We're not live. Yeah.
Wait, what do people normally do? Because Oz does this and comes back on.
With Streamlab, I don't know. Oh wait.
Wait, are we back? I think we are back. I don't know.
Yeah, I think we are.
Hey, I mean, it looks like
I see stuff.
Right.
Hey, yeah. I've never seen that happen before.
What was that? I've never seen it happen and not get over like.
I don't know. Like I need to ask Oz what just happened because it happens in his stream a lot.
Wait, okay, that may have just been like the system working, and normally the system, in my experience.
Well, normally I yell at you when you let the stream run too long because I don't like letting it go for longer than 5 or 10 seconds. And we were trying to figure out what the fuck he was talking about, so maybe it didn't like that.
Yeah, probably that was what like flagged it and like let it go through, but.
Hey, but we're still up, so
but
you know.
Wait a minute. Is it not going to be? Is it not fair use because After School was just playing this Gaia episode pretty much straight through?
That doesn't actually matter. No,
right? You would think fair use would be like
they may have licensed it for one, right?
Yeah.
You know,
yep.
So if Gaia never calls them out because they're allowed to use it, which I think is really the only mechanism that exists, I don't think you like lodge a license unless you buy it directly through YouTube, because they have a whole library of stuff that you can license.
I don't know. That's a good question.
That might have been it. When you wrap things up, you'll be able to check to see in your studio if there is a copyright strike against it, because that's what I suspected it might have been.
Well, I mean, unless there's a copyright strike, I don't give a fuck. But I don't know. I guess having the stream taken down would be a copyright strike, right?
I mean, yeah, but I mean, you're back up. I mean, that's what I don't understand. I would have thought, like, if it was legit copyright strike, it would be down. Like, the only thing that you could do would be to kind of start another stream. So yeah, this is new territory for me. I've never seen this happen before.
Oh, right, because Darth only dreams of copyright striking you, but he doesn't have any of his own content, so fuck off.
I do want to. So we are, in fact,
there's no copyrights on any of this shit. Yeah, we're over the 2-hour mark, so I'm ready to go. But I'm just looking at all this stuff, and I'm like, there's no copyright on any of it. So
yeah,
usually when things are copyrighted, it's somewhere. Like, you know, even if it's just like give us credit or something.
It could have been a glitch. We're still here, so frankly, glitches happen, and maybe there was an actual like somebody tried to like call a strike, and they did a poll and then a quick review, and then put it back on.
No, it's like Sunday. Impressive. It's Sunday and it's YouTube, and they don't do any of that shit.
Well, maybe they get an AI to do it.
No, yeah, they totally get an AI to do it. You want to know how many fucks the AI gives?
It doesn't have it. If you tell it it's important to your career, that it and step,
and beg and plead and suck it off, and it'll take the blowjob and tell you to fuck off.
Better. It's crazy.
No, I'm just gonna like keep looking, and it's not gonna tell me shit. But oh, it is copyright.
Do we want to keep going?
Copyright protected. No, I would say no like that.
I mean, it's like like secondhand copyright violation, because I mean, After School was they were allowed to rebroadcast it through YouTube, but
the copyright oddly comes after the music. It's at minute 5, which is weird. I'll have to look through this. It's the only thing that they're saying. Oh, wait a minute. Copyright live now. No, it's not giving me anything. It's saying none. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong video. It's saying none.
It could be a photo. That's the other thing that I can imagine being.
Like, we're not going to troubleshoot the stream during the stream. Nobody gives.
You're the one doing this.
I'm not. Jeff asked me a question,
their relationship,
and I said no. I don't have any copyrights. Stop playing the video. So we're done. All right, here. Let me make it easier for you, Jeff. Who are you? Where are you? What do you got coming up this week?
Yeah, I'm going to be maybe Wednesday or Thursday. I did find kind of an obscure video of Darth having a conversation with a few people over on Discord. It's about 4 days old. Another user put it up, a user that looks brand new, doesn't have a lot of followers. So I think I'm going to snag it. Somebody sent me a link to it too. I started listening to it. There's a part where Darth is reading from some kind of literature, and it is remarkably bad. Like, he's trying to do he's trying to read something about how Gettier problems are hasty generalizations, which they're not. And then reads this thing, and then as he's reading this thing, the language in it is clearly explanations about philosophical issues by an apologist for Christians, because it keeps talking about problems with autonomous reasoning. So yeah, it's bad. So yeah, I'm probably going to cover that.
No, you have to. I mean, well, so the thing is, when I don't want you to like. I know that you have to like do stuff this week, so I don't want you to like risk your health if you know.
Well, yeah, it's probably not going to be that big a deal. Probably, I'm hoping to cover that one maybe Wednesday or Thursday night. So I'm trying to come up with a midweek time that I can go live that doesn't like kind of happen at the same time other people's stuff happens. So
Wednesday, yeah, I don't know. At least with my sphere of people, Wednesdays are hit or miss, but more miss than hit. And then sometimes Mondays are good days too. But
yeah,
yeah.
I mean, Saturday I kind of run into that too, because Bree goes live on HiveSci at 10 a.m. Aaron Ra does stuff around that time. So Peter DeTucker.
Saturdays are crazy. Yeah.
Saturdays get nuts. So I can either do it very early in the morning, or I can do it in the middle of the afternoon. But when I try to do it in the middle of the afternoon, somebody may impromptu do something. Yeah, something's always happening. So I don't worry about live viewers on Saturdays. I'm just going to do those when I want.
I think Wednesdays are good days. I was thinking about my posted videos. I was thinking about moving those to Wednesdays, just so there's like actually something going on Wednesdays. I wanted to try to do something like a community post on Tuesdays, and or a like a short vid, and then have my videos on Thursdays, like my half hour, like the posted vid. It's like not a live stream, but actual vid. Do those on Thursdays. I originally started this at 9, and then I went back to 8. Now I'm at 7, just because Thursdays are like such jam-packed days. But it's hard. And then people are like, oh, well, you can't worry about other people. And you're popular enough to where you could probably still get an audience without worrying about who else is streaming. I mean, it's different if it's like Apologia, or somebody like that. But like for me, when I was starting, people are like, "Oh, don't worry about that," and I'm like, I am so small and unpopular that it's not even about courtesy streaming. I want anybody at all to show up to my chat. So, which is why I chose this time. And when we started this, nobody streamed on Sundays. It was a desert.
It was kind of weird. Yeah, in the evenings at least. Or earlier in the day, they're
and then all of a sudden, probably about 6 months into it, we started seeing all these other people, but we're late enough to where I don't really worry about it.
See, and I'm thinking about maybe doing that, because I got to check it out. I got to pay more attention to Wednesdays, because I'm thinking I either do it right after work and just kind of get used to jumping right into that when I'm done with work at 5, or rolling into something later at night, because I usually don't go to bed that early. So maybe doing like an hour or two in the evening, probably closer to when I would go to bed, and then just kind of get into the habit of doing that. But Thursdays I try to avoid, because there's shows on Thursdays that I like to catch and like to participate in, like the Weekend Horror thing that JL does. And a lot of people go live on Thursdays, I feel like.
Yes.
And sometimes Pine Creek, when he's live, I like to kind of jump in there and kind of like,
I am sub for Pine Creek and never look back. The only time I ever pay attention to anything he's doing is when the community's reading, or when you showcase something.
He's got another one. Yeah, I'm going to be covering. Omnivore says, I need to get you to offer to mod a politics debate with Pine Creek. I would mod a debate, between Pine Creek and anybody who wanted to. It would just be up to Pine Creek. I don't know if he'd be interested in doing it, though. I don't think he's ever really debated anybody.
Debate.
Yeah, like doing some kind of, like he would do a conversation, or do like, hey, we'll take turns doing SE on each other, which, like, okay, maybe.
I mean, I think you've talked to him though before, right? I think I remember you talking to him.
Yeah, a few times.
He's been trying to get me to talk to him, and I'm just like,
ooh,
fuck off.
Oh no,
him and Darth. No, him and Darth. Like every time Darth starts a new thing, like one of his acolytes jump in my DMs, just like come into the DMs, and I'm like, I keep telling you fuckers, I'm not an atheist. Like
Darth is the epitome of philosophical rigor. Prove me wrong.
Yeah.
I am.
You declared it, so it's true. I mean, according to Darth's worldview. So yeah, you're done. Yeah.
Everything that you say presupposes the necessity of the existence of that being a true statement, right? So
yeah. Because Jesus.
Darth can, no, seriously, listen to me. Darth can kiss my shiny black ass. Not talking to that fucker.
Has he reached out to you, or just indirectly through like the flying monkeys?
So I think I told you once that when I used to mod the Demi's Great Debate Community, I modded a thing between Darth and it was actually one Christian and 2 or 3 atheists. And he jumped in my DMs to tell me what a horrible mod I was because I had to keep muting him because he wouldn't let anybody else talk. I had to mute him to let other people ask him a question. And when I unmuted him, he would still be fucking monologuing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Darth, can you answer the question? The question. No, really, the question. It's like, well, no, he needs to answer my question. Nobody heard your question, Darth. You need to answer his question. And then once you do that, then you can ask your questions because this is how conversations work. And so that was, he ended, I wish I had access to that. But he ended up rage quitting and then telling me what a horrible fucking moderator I was and then blocking me.
I've never heard of Darth rage quitting before. What a novel concept.
He's gotten better about not doing that in a way that gets recorded. I have a feeling.
What a great qualification.
Yeah. When he thinks that there's a tape, there's tape evidence happening. He won't do that.
But Doug, there was a time when I would have been willing to talk to Doug, but the time has passed. He's a lost cause. I'm going to need to see more out of him before I'm willing to speak to him. And it's not because like I'm afraid of him, but like he's just, honest to God, a waste of my time.
I think he's done himself a little bit of a disfavor because I think every conversation that he said, hey, I want to have a conversation with you. Let's just hash this out. I think we probably agree on more than we disagree. Famous statement from him. When he does that, he's had conversations with like Dr. Ben and Arden and Stephanie and Beck. And I think Stephanie and Beck had a conversation with him all together. He went into something. He'll have those conversations and it seems like it's okay until he ends up featuring them in a short that he does where he's making fun of them or kind of taking a point that they made out of context or something like that. I'm like, okay, that's not really that ain't going to win you any, participants if you keep doing that to people. If they know that there's a chance that you're going to say something that, he's going to grab onto and then turn it into like a memeable moment to like, kind of kick you, then
well, I mean, it is that, but also Vandy's talked to Doug, and that was really actually my last straw. And it wasn't anything we didn't like
arrange
and it's
it.
not
Like,
anything that you, it wasn't anything you did.
Hold on. When she says I talked to Doug, I didn't like go on his channel.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
Because I wanted to point out that I wasn't.
I know you're feeling defensive, but I was actually talking. But no, I'm sorry. I forget. You talk. Fuck me.
Sorry.
No.
So was he? Wait, did he come into one of these? Did you guys bring him?
No, I believe that was Steph's show, right?
Oh, okay.
No, I mean, and the thing is, I don't have anything against what Vandy was saying. It was just like the way Doug handled the conversation. Stephanie and Vandy and some other people were telling him like, no, this is the science. And Doug was like, no, I don't trust medical doctors because I used to teach them and they're all idiots. He did respect Vandy.
Okay.
But I guess
set him up.
Wow.
He was willing to talk to him. He respects physicists, but I'm like, physicists aren't really putting a dog in the fight on the trans debate. They're trusting the science of the scientist or the biologist because they understand that that's their field. I mean, most physicists, there's some hot Swedes out there that kind of play fast and loose with facts, but not this physicist. This is a good physicist who understands his lane and trust people who are in the field and people who are having the lived experiences that what they're saying is true because they've put their whole life into this field and maybe they can speak with more authority than him, which is also my take. But like looking at someone who's just like, no, what you've spent your whole life living and studying and ensuring is right and accurate to like precision accuracy doesn't mean anything. I'm going to arbitrarily decide that you're too stupid to be listened to because it doesn't align with what I want to believe.
Yeah.
At what point, what conversation is there to be had at that point?
Yeah. Well, and that's that. Yeah. I mean, it bothered me that I didn't get converted into a short when I said that his views were deranged. Because he was like, we're getting ready to wrap up, and he was like, well, do you have anything to say? And I'm like, look, I think that basically at the heart of this, you think that the transition, I think your take on this is that you're concerned about medical professionals overextending themselves and trying to get kids to have sex changes. And then other than that, trans men or trans women, rather, trans women are a danger to women, safe spaces and sports. There's no evidence to support either of these. So these are based on a deranged narrative. This is a deranged worldview. And he didn't like that. And he's got defensive. And I was like, no, hang on. I didn't say you were deranged. I said, this viewpoint is deranged. It's factless. There's nothing to support that women are in jeopardy or that medical professionals are engaged in some widespread conspiracy to convince kids that they need to transition in any way, let alone trying to force them into sex changes. And I don't think he liked that. So that was the end of that.
So you made way too much sense to be turned into a short.
Yeah.
And clearly so did Vandy, but he was chomping at the bit to talk to him. And I'm sorry.
That is pretty interesting that he just dismissed medical doctors as like, oh, I've trained them and they're stupid.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
funny.
I mean, it was your conversation. I mean, you should talk. I mean, if there's something you want to say. I don't think you need to be defensive, though. I don't think you did anything wrong.
The way it started was the part that I thought was the funniest bit about it because he didn't know who I was. Like I had never talked to him before. I didn't know he was going to be there. Or maybe I did. I can't remember who joined the stream first. And he was talking about how he doesn't trust all these experts, but he does trust some experts. And I'm like, I feel like I know what type of guy this is. And I'm like, wait, so what type of experts do you trust? And he was like, mathematicians. Actually, no, wait, physicists. And I was like,
perfect.
Great.
Well, actually.
It's funny that you mentioned
that. So how about you just pipe down there?
He's just like
and then
pull down the star chart behind you, like, hey.
And then he was like, I want you to come on my channel, and I was like, I don't feel like doing that.
If you're a physicist, are you an astrophysicist or?
I'm an atomic physicist.
Atomic physicist, okay. That wouldn't really apply to you.
Tell them about your Jewish space lasers.
I have no Jewish space lasers. I have no space lasers. I have a lot of lasers.
Oh, okay.
Lasers can't be Jewish. They can be in space.
I mean, can't they though? I mean, couldn't you get a kosher laser?
Yeah, you could. Kosher is not the same thing as Jewish, right?
Okay.
Kosher salt isn't Jewish salt.
But for
we have kosher
anti-Semitic
lasers.
Types, they're not going to care. You know,
who named the Jedi's kosher lasers? Sounds like a B.S. Lewis thing?
Kosher lasers.
Yeah.
That was the strangest thing I'd heard in politics in a while when I heard the
anything that comes out of her mouth. Yeah. It's
pretty much.
always...
What is it? The Rothschilds. The Rothschilds have control and access to space lasers. Like, okay, all right.
Yeah.
I don't think I am magnetic.
A magnetic physicist.
I don't.
There's a couple meanings.
Are you getting sleepy or just hungry? Hangry? Slangry?
But yeah, no. Doug has a short out, and I'm going to end up probably watching the short, and then locating it in the live stream that he pulled it from, and then watching it in context to see what he's got going on. He's calmed down a little bit. He's not making videos targeting rationality rules, because he seems to think that rationality rules is like this close to being anti-woke, according to him, and then became woke for the money.
What?
Yeah. Doug believes that. Yeah, rationality rules is just, and I'm like, rationality rules is not a leftist. Like he's a capitalist. He admits that, and I think he's more of like a British lib. He just doesn't. He's not a transphobe, so I guess he's being woke because that's what the YouTube algorithm is doing.
It's touch and go. I don't know. It's hanging on by a thread there. I don't even know that I could competently make that statement. He's not a transphobe. I'm really side-eyeing him over there.
Oh, rationality rules. Yeah, I don't think that he is. I mean, other than
that video that he said.
Yeah, the video that he tried that he did 2 years ago that pissed everybody off.
Well, no, he had something else recently that, oh my God. I watched it and now I can't remember what it was, but it was recently, and the transgender community, atheist YouTube community was unhappy about it.
He's got
it's probably sports stuff. Yeah,
probably.
It's probably sports.
Stephanie would know. Oh, yeah, see, yeah. He has the sports blind spot. And so, I mean, and I don't think that don't get me wrong. Like, so when I talk about people being like racist or, transphobic or homophobic or, whatever the thing, even misogynistic, it doesn't mean that you are like a right wing. I don't think you're Tucker Carlson.
Yeah.
You clearly have a blind spot that you're not addressing and that you're not researching. If you are spouting right-wing rhetoric, God, can't talk. I'm going to accuse you of being the thing. If you don't like that, then okay, fine. I'll shut up long enough for you to listen to why you're wrong. But if you're against the science, I don't know what else. You fit the label. I'm sorry. Like, I mean, that's just the thing. Yeah. Now, I've made bigoted statements in the past. I've apologized, and I have people in those camps calling me an ally now. But we can all make bigoted comments. And I think when you're, and when you like make a whole video based on a bigoted assumption.
Yeah.
I don't think you have ground to stand on to say I am not a bigot when like you've actually made this part of your platform now. And
that I think everything that you've said actually kind of goes then I think against this, which makes me wonder more. Like, why would because if you look at some of the shorts and stuff, Doug at Pine Creek, he's devoted a lot of shorts to targeting Stephen, even though Stephen
Doug's a bigot. Like, I'm sorry, like I'm not taking that back.
Yeah, exactly.
If we take that back, he's gonna have to take all of his shit down.
Yeah, and it's just like, look, I don't know where Stephen would have to go in order for you to feel comfortable with his opinion on this. Like, he also has an issue with the sports thing, which Doug does. So I'm not sure why that. Yeah, it's just weird that he's kind of, and then he like tries to like tell his audience like, oh well, he's doing it because he's woke for cash or whatever, he's doing it because the YouTube algorithm wants this. Like, no, bro, like conservative YouTube channels get a lot more views and subscribers than most of the left wing ones. So yeah, like miss me with that. That's not.
I think Stephen is well intentioned. He's misinformed. I don't believe it's intentional.
I don't understand. I don't understand his take on the sports thing, and I don't understand his take on like the self-identification distinction between the two of them. I'm just like, I don't know, like, what this is. I haven't watched that whole conversation that he had with Forrest Balkai about it, though, but
yeah,
did
I
he
mean,
make
the thing is, if you're not trans, you don't have a dog in the fight. Just shut the fuck up and respect other people. Like that's all you have to do in life.
But
Shut
I
the
think
fuck.
I
I don't know
think
why
at
we're
that
arguing about this.
well, and I think at that point, I think Stephen probably would kind of agree with you, right? I think at that point he would. I think Doug, though, like, he doesn't want people talking about it. He doesn't want policies based on it. If there are policies done,
No, he said as much. Yeah.
it's to exclude those people, to exclude their rhetoric. It's like, okay, what you're talking about is bigoted, fascistic shit. And if that's what you want to vote for, you have the freedom to do that. But just keep in mind that once you use your freedom to vote for somebody who's going to impinge on other people's freedom, that's a slippery slope. Pretty soon you're not going to be voting for your own freedoms. It's just not going to be an option anymore. So yeah,
Yeah.
I don't understand why they. Well, I do understand why they cling to it. It's different. It's counterintuitive for them. They're probably empathy challenged, and it's easier to kind of mock and ridicule something that they want to say, ew, it's weird, I don't get it, than to think about it. So
Right. And that's the thing. It's like I felt when I asked you to come on today, I do apologize. I was ignorant. I didn't realize it was going to be Easter or Trans Visibility Day. I don't know that I would have brought in a Christian just for today. Perhaps a trans woman, but my preference would have been Ember for today, but she isn't available until next week. But I hope, I don't know. I'm one of those people where it's just like, I don't feel like it's appropriate to call yourself an ally. I
don't either. Yeah.
Do strive to be. And
yeah,
I hope that the trans community finds me worthy. And I hope
allyship, that's definitely something that's got to come from them. Like, if they want to call me an ally, great. I'm not going to call myself one.
Right. And I hope that if I'm ever misspeaking, that they call me out on it and we come to an agreement about what rights look like, because that is again, be a Black and a woman. And I say that all the time, like, you can't tell. But those are kind of projects of mine, civil rights for all people. And I say all the time, I advocate for the rights of all men. Being a feminist means that I also want to uphold the rights of men. I feel like whenever we're taking any rights away, it's a slippery slope to, it makes bigots feel emboldened. It's like, okay, we got this. What's next? Or what can we... Our laws are built to where when you got one win, a number of the other wins were based on the initial win. So they all come falling down like a house of cards whenever one goes. Yeah. So there's not any group that we can afford to lose, because you're going to lose other groups. And I'm gonna beat that drum with my dying breath. It doesn't matter if you are the most marginalized group or the most protected group. I'm fighting for your rights. We fucking deserve them. This is our country.
This is one of the things I think is kind of weird with like the reason that the groups have to keep shrinking is because if you've ever been in conservative circles, where it's one thing to have that uncle at Thanksgiving that people joke about.
Right.
It's another thing to be around people who are that are white supremacists. And I've been around some. And when you talk to them for a while and you pick up the vibe of what's going on, you realize that what they're actively doing, the thing that they hate more than all of the marginalized groups they want to continue to marginalize, or marginalize even more, are the people that they identify as an ally. The race traitor, the gender traitor, those types of people get identified real quick. And as soon as that happens, that they're going to, they're not getting by. They're trying to take it all. And so the point of that movement, that ideology over time, is that you marginalize more and more and more and more groups, because you want to winnow down. First, it's the easily identifiable groups, and then it's the people who are kind of a little harder to identify. guy, and then there's the allies, and then there's the people who are undecided, and then pretty soon there's only like one person running the roost, and that person's a massive hypocrite and a moron. So they end up just, it's sort of like trying to exist in a world where, you got a guy that doesn't know that, you can shear a sheep many times, but you can skin it only once. And these assholes seem to think that they can just skin everybody, and the only thing keeping them from growing back a new hide is a lack of willpower and, appropriate fear motivation. That's the kind of people, they'll just pillage the shit out of everything. And that's what they're doing. That's what they're essentially setting up with the law thing. And any of the guys that I talked to, when I would talk to them, like, okay, so what's step 2 when you guys get the laws passed to prevent women from working and voting and owning property? Then what? Well, then we're going to need to make sure that no land owning men of any race or gender or anything can vote.
Right.
That was step 2. Like, you got to be a landowner. And like, okay, and then what? Like, oh, you actually have to own real property. It can't be like, you have to have income property, not just a residence. Like, okay, so then the group gets even smaller still. So when does that stop? Like, the purity.
It doesn't. The rich, and we say it's about the 1%. The rich are, at the end of the day, all about themselves. They will eat each other. Like, and this is why we see all these like corporate buyouts. Like it's like they all want all the money in the world and then produce more. Yeah. It never stops. They are insatiable. Like it will never stop.
Yeah.
And unless we stop them.
They're kind of rewarded for it, right? In the system. Like, they're supposed to be eating at each other and competing, but most of the time, like at the very top, they collude, and then they divide up territory, and then they allow the working class to eat themselves.
But once they subdue once they subdue all of us or do whatever it is they want to do, they will come after each other. Like it won't stop. Like, the only thing we can do is band together and strengthen, like, because we are the majority. We are the 99%. Like, we have the power. We do. We're giving it to them.
Yeah, and the point is, I think ultimately, it's like, look, this isn't going to, like, even if these groups can put themselves in power, history has shown us that when groups like this with these kinds of ideologies get into a position of power, they're ultimately self-destructive. That's what I'm saying. They blow it up. So it's like, you guys aren't winning what you think you're going to win out of this. It's like once you it's like the dog that catches the car. Like, you don't want this, but you're chasing.
Yeah, and that's what I try to say to, like, conservative white men. It's just like, you think they're not coming for you, but I think you just don't realize how they already are.
I mean,
the dwindling of the middle class, that affects a lot of white men. Christian white men.
Those like any of the kind of like authoritarian systems where when you get into the late stage of that system where it gets really corrupt, these people are like out to get, they're all party loyalists or, government. They're all out trying to like stab each other in the back, and somebody's not pure enough. Somebody didn't have the right wife or husband or kids, or, they don't have enough kids. They don't have any kids. They have too many kids. It's whatever they want to blame you for. It just becomes a giant, dysfunctional family, and everybody's just trying to eat each other. It's insane. And the idea that they're like, well, we need to go back to some of those principles. Like, those aren't principles. Those are prejudices and paranoia. Like, that's not going to do anything. Like, you're going to get nothing. You're going to starve. A bunch of people are going to, like, the only thing that you're going to accomplish is terrorizing a lot of people for no reason. It's a massive waste of time.
Yeah.
You'd be better off just like giving the government to scientists and letting them debate and figure out how, what's their next step,
One would think. But
as long as those scientists,
I don't know if that would work particularly well, for the record. I'm not going to lie.
Discussions could go on for too long. Like, wait, when are we going to start planting crops again? We haven't decided. Hang on.
Yeah.
All right. So, sorry, not to cut you off, but I've been talking to Jeff all day. You're a great conversationalist. I'm starting a new job tomorrow, though. And I want to, I would like to thank everybody who has contributed to the stream this year. I haven't said this to anyone except I want to say Bree. I've been out of work all year. And it's been really stressful. And you guys coming and showing support, just, I don't know, I feel loved. Whether or not you care or not, and you're just like, hey, just make me laugh. Like, I don't care about how you feel. I don't know. I want you guys to all know how much you mean to me and how much you guys just being here makes a difference in the world. And it's not thank you for the money. 100% thank you for the money. For those of you who are able to give. But what I appreciate, I'm not rich, so I wasn't brought up caring about any of the money in the world. The love is what made a difference in my life. And I can't tell you how much just you guys being here and showing support and, just wanting to be here and see me be me has meant to me while I'm going through all this shit. So we'll be back next week with Ember, and happy Easter, happy Trans Visibility Day. I wish you the best in the next week, and please know that you're loved. All right, everybody, say bye.
See you later. Also,
April Fool.